special presentation from News Channel Nebraska. The 2024 Nebraska Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska is presented by Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be. Member FDIC.
Welcome to Kearney, Nebraska, the site of the 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl, a chance for the state's best senior football players to put on the pads one more time before going off to college. Oh, and by the way, it's for an amazing cause. Brandon Axmett, Kurt Frenzen with you. Glad that you're here. Absolutely beautiful day here in Kearney, Nebraska, on the campus of UNK. And Kurt, when you talk about what we're about to witness, it's obviously a game. There's going to be a lot of good football players. It's also more than a game, and who would know better than you, someone who's been the coach for 3 different occasions for the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Can you share what this thing means and what it's about?
Well, definitely there's a great cause going on with the Shriners Hospital, and all the proceeds going to help out the Shriners and everybody that is associated with the Shriners Hospital. So just I know there's a great cause above and beyond the game. But with that being said, you got a bunch of alpha dogs that have been exchanging pleasantries all week, probably in the dorm quite a bit. And, you know, they're going to come out now here in this game, get ready to go. For these coaches, for these players, this is a big deal. And you got a bunch of guys that are on these rosters because they compete at a high level. And they're going to take this field with not only the mission of the Shriners in mind, but a mission to play their very best football for this team that they built a bond with over the last week.
So the North team led by Chris Kuzer of Norfolk High, the South team being head coached by Gatula of Lincoln Southeast. You had a chance to interact with these coaches throughout the week. When you look at what the coaches have said and the rosters that they've presented and compiled, what sticks out to you?
Well, going to the scrimmages the other day, I felt both teams definitely wanted to run the football first. And, you know, I'm going to start with the South. They've got a stable running backs in the backfield. Isaiah Weber from Gretna, Drake Zimmerman from Ashland Greenwood, and the Schluter kid from Exeter Milligan Friend. Those 3 guys could be star backs for anybody, and they're all in the same backfield. So I know Coach will spread the carries out amongst those guys the best they can, but those guys really stood out. Also at the tight end position, they got 2 outstanding tight ends for the South team as well. Kirchhoff definitely is going to be a guy that stands out, and then Trevor Spady from Omaha West Side to go along with that big front that they have up top for the South as well. And for the North, the same kind of lines. You know, I think along the same lines, backfield. You know, you start with Hank Hudson in the backfield, a guy that can really get downhill and run the football, but he's going to block as well, do a great job for him in that way. And also, you know, they've just got a couple other guys that are going to stand out. Great back from Bennington that's going to step up and do some really great things for him as well. So I'm excited to see both these teams really take the field and see which one can establish a run game. Being a part of 3 of these games, I'm going to tell you right now, it comes down to just, again, blocking and tackling just like it does in any other game, and what team up front is going to be able to control the line of scrimmage. And I think that's probably been the storyline in the 3 games that I've been a part of. Whichever team can establish the line of scrimmage ended up winning the game, so that'll be a storyline to watch today.
Those are some of the X's and O's, why this game is played and what it means. The third member of our broadcast team, Michael Shively, has more.
You said it, Brandon. This is more than a game, and we figured that out early this week. More than a game, that's the slogan for this event, and the players caught on early. Monday is Beyond the Field Day. That's where they get to hear presentations. They talk with patients of Shriners Children's. Shriners Children's is a network of medical facilities that treats children in orthopedics, and they do so without charging. It's a meaningful mission for this event to raise money for this organization. The players caught on by getting to talk to the patients, and by that point, talking to them on Monday, they had already become really good friends.
But it's been a brotherhood bond that I've formed in one day, and it's been a great opportunity to give back already, and we've only been here for 24 hours.
Being around all these other guys that love football just as much as you is just a great feeling to know that you're not the only one.
But the Shrine Bowl is about more than just football and friendships. It's a fundraiser for Shriners Children's. On Monday, the players learned about the nonprofit hospital from Nebraska patients.
It's really cool playing for something more than yourself and be around all these kids and helping them out and knowing that I'm not just playing for me, but I'm playing to help kids like that in need.
They played and competed with the patients at the park.
Didn't get a stretching beforehand. Luckily, my hammy held up in those splits, you know. Couldn't quite do the front flip into the back bend, but I got a few moves in there.
Nick Krackemeyer of Battle Creek is a Shriners Children's patient. He was born without hands and was an honorary Shrine Bowl captain in 2018. He still makes a point to come back.
It's good that people know about this stuff, and I think I can kind of help and add my little spin onto it. I mean, that's what I try to do with everything I do.
Preparing for Saturday's game is a grind with 12 practices over 6 days. But after day one, the players can't wait to continue.
Playing football with these guys, I mean, look at them. There's 42 of them over there that are best in the state right there. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be fun.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports. The 2024 Nebraska Shrine Bowl's hometown athletes are proudly supported by Sitta Deli and McCook, Nebraska Orthopedic Physical Therapy in Lincoln, and The Blind Pig in Springfield.
And welcome back here to Ron and Carol Cope Stadium, the campus of the University of Nebraska Kearney. Brandon Axelman and Michael Shively with you alongside Columbus Lakeview's very own Kurt Frenzen, not only a 3-time coach here in this game, also a state championship winning coach, Lakeview Vikings, not long ago in 2021. Coach, how are you feeling? Are you getting sort of any of those butterflies from being a part of this as you see this from a different perspective here as we're about to get close to kickoff?
Man, as the calendar turns to June, you get kind of the feeling, and a lot of times baseball, barbecue, all those type of things. But right now we get top-level high school football about ready to start. And if you can't get excited for something like this, you better check your pulse a little bit. We've got outstanding talent. I'm just excited to get it here and get this thing teed up and kicked off and get going.
Well, the players are ready to come out as well. We will turn it over to our PA announcer, Rich Broderson, as the South team enters first.
Should I move? Am I live?
Right next to this.
Yeah.
Number 31, Brendan Schluter.
Brenda, number 33, Isaiah Weber. From Aurora, number 35, Prashan B. From Hampton, St. Cecilia, number 37, Dawson Kissinger. From Stratman. From Papillion, the Mrs. South, number 41, Keenan Flannery. From Norris, number 43, Eli Holt. From Gilmore Central, number 25, Jackson Turner. From Scott Catholic, number 47, Anthony Heitop. From Omaha Central, number 49, Kayvon Newsom. From Brady Davenport, number 51, Tanner Bolte. From Ashland Greenwood, number 53, Benjamin Harris. From Aurora, number 57, Kellen Peterson. From Kearney High, number 59, Bo Buchanan. From Plattsmouth, number 61, Dylan Eby. From St. Catholic, number 63, Justin Witkowski. From Omaha Groves, number 65, Ryan Weeks. From Beatrice, number 67, Gage Walter. From Lincoln East, number 71, Noah Peterson. From Plattsmouth, number 73, Orion Parker. From Omaha Central, number 75, Brian Sherman. From Lincoln Southeast, number 77, Cooper Johnson. From Lincoln East, number 79, Cooper Kinney. From the Papillion of the Business South, Rosian Skogerbo. From Malkin, number 83, Dalton Amon. From Oklahoma, number 85, Jaden Rezak. On West Side, number 87, Trevor Spady. Lieutenant Kelly Brown, number 89, Jackson Kirkdale. From McCook, number 91, Patrick Gross. From Kearney Catholic, number 97, Garrett O'Hare. The assistant coaches to the South.
So there is the South team in the whites. Soon the North team to be announced. But, Kurt, again, you talked about the South. You talked about their trio of running backs. What else sticks out from that roster we just saw?
You know, I think you start up front with the left tackle. Cooper Johnson really stood out to me when I could watch him in the scrimmage the other day. I thought both quarterbacks were outstanding. Owen Baxter from Lincoln Southeast. He's Coach Gatula's quarterback from the season, so you know there's some connection there. And then Colby Duncan as well. Both those guys are going to be triggermen today for that South side. And I think they're going to do amazing things. They got some really good possibilities to make some big plays happen. And look out for the kid from Papillion, Roy Skogerbo. Hopefully I didn't butcher his name too bad, but that guy can stretch the field vertically. Coach Clemenger must have really enjoyed his time with him. So.
And now let's go back to the PA for the North team.
From Loganville, number 8, Braden Watkins. From Lincoln North Star, number 10, Dean Donaldson. From Grand Island Northwest, number 12, Chase Wiegert. From Waverly, number 14, Nolan Moss. From Sydney, number 16, Isaac Doty. From Columbus, number 18, Tanner Esch. From Mitchell, number 20, Dale Peters. From Papillion of Vista, number 22, Peyton Costido. From Battle Creek, number 26, Blake Borchers. From Wahoo, number 28, Sam Edmonds. From Pierce, number 30, Keenan Valverde. From Ord, number 32, Trent McCain. From Bennington, number 34, Quinton Archer. From Lincoln Eye, number 38, Ananaya Ruba. From Brooknamo, number 40, Bryce Chaplin. From Liberty, number 42, Drew Moser. From Boone Central, number 44, Hank Hudson. From Northland St. Patrick's, number 48, Brendan Aronson. From Grand Island, number 50, Reed Kelly. From Boone Central, number 52, Trenton Patel. From Blair, number 53, Braden McGill. From Norfolk, number 54, Samuel Zanzueta. From O'Neill, number 56, Tucker Chamberlain. From Bennington, Gail Cochran. From the Plain La Vista, number 60, Dallas Hamilton. From Elmore North, number 62, Cole Daubert. From Columbus Lakeview, number 64, Humberto Adame. From Lincoln All-Star, number 66, Jaden Potter. From Creighton Prep, number 68, CJ Costello. From Miller North, number 70, Caleb Klein. From Omaha North, number 72, DeAndre Harper. From Elmore North, number 74, Brock Marler. From Norfolk Campbell, number 76, Ben Sochek. From Omaha North, number 78, Jordan Pasquale Shaw. From Creighton Prep, number 80, Michael Burt. From Columbus, number 82, Hayden Koppel. From Northwest, number 86, Joseph Stein. From Fremont, Archbishop Bergen, number 88, Colby Butts. From Innsbruck, number 90, Trey Applett. From Stanton, number 92, Mitchell Huff. The assistant coaches for the North All-Stars. From Lincoln All-Stars.
That's the North team. We are minutes from kick. Let's hear from head coach Chris Kuzer, who Michael Shively caught up with not long ago.
Head coach Chris Kuzer of the North team, Norfolk High School, but today's head coach of the North team. Coach, let's go back to last summer. You find out you're going to have this opportunity. What does it mean to you to be head coach at the Shrine Bowl?
Truly, it's a career movement, and when anytime you can do those kind of things, it's really just an honor, and you definitely have to take that opportunity for doing it.
What's it been like this week? You get this fresh group of guys, you get to train them up and go through some experiences with them.
It's really awesome because you're able to meet some kids that many times you've coached against or you read about, and all of a sudden now this same kid's in your locker room and you get to actually coach them and stuff. So it's an honor just because, like I said, you get to meet some of the neatest kids around the state. So
a long week, an exciting week, and now it's game time. Is there anything special you have to do to get them dialed in for an all-star game?
No, they're pretty dialed in on their own. There's a reason they're an all-star. So these kids, they're pretty motivated, as you just heard right there. So it's fun.
Strengths of the team, what do you like about your North squad?
Trenches, our O-line, D-line, running back stable, secondary group, and even our linebackers are strong. So like I said, I'm pretty excited about all those.
What do you need to see from your group to get the win here in the Shrine Bowl?
Just play a clean game of football. You can't turn the ball over. You have to stay ahead of the sticks and just execute. Like I said, every single thing is important.
Well, Coach, best of luck.
Thank you.
That's the North squad. We talk to the South team next.
The pregame show is sponsored by Custom Sports. Look great for every game with custom team or business apparel from Custom Sports.
Coach Ryan Gatula of Lincoln Southeast. Today, he's the head coach of the South team. Coach, it's so fun. You get a bunch of guys in, don't know each other at all, and now they get to Saturday, and it seems like they're best of friends. What's the journey been like with this group?
Well, it's been a great week for us. Like you said, just seeing kids come in and not really knowing each other on Sunday, and then the relationships that they've been able to build throughout the week, and the team chemistry that they've been able to put together in a few short days. That's fun to see, and yet at the same time, they really understand the purpose of this game and what we're really here to do.
Yeah, that's the balance that's tough to strike. You have to have the impact of the charitable aspect, but you have to be serious about football. How do you get that balance in your guys?
I think, kids on both sides, they're all competitors. That's why they're great football players. And so when it's time to play football, they're going to play football. But like I said, throughout the week, they really understood the purpose and the mission of this game. And these are all high-character kids. And it's been a really fun week just seeing them interact with the patients and seeing them at all the activities that the Shriners have planned for them this week.
What have you seen from your group in practice?
It's an intelligent group of young men. I can say that. To be able to put in an offense and a defense and all your special teams in just a few days, for them to be able to pick it up that fast, that's been very impressive. And like I said, they're all high-character kids and good kids. Love the relationships that they've been able to build as teammates in a few days.
What gives your team, the South team, the edge over the North?
Both teams are really talented. We want to just come out and execute well and obviously take care of the football, and usually games are won up front. So we got to play well and play physical up front. I know they're going to be very well coached and very physical, so we got to make sure we match that.
Well, it's going to be fun. Have some fun, and best of luck, Coach.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
That's Ryan Gatula with the South team. Now let's get ready for the game, guys.
Thank you, Michael. We are seconds away from kickoff. We saw the South team. Coach, you gave some thoughts on them. Want to give the North the same that they're due. What do you see on that roster?
Well, on the roster, I think you start in the backfield as well. Quentin Archer, Bennington, Peyton Prestito, Papillion, Sebastian Boyle, Scottsbluff. Teamed up with Hank Hudson, Boone Central, and Bryce Chaplin, Broken Bow. I think you're going to have the opportunity to have a solid running game there. They're running behind a really stout offensive line as well, too. Highlighted by Joseph Stein. He's listed at tight end. He could play defensive end as well for him. And then Michael Burt at Creighton Prep behind that offensive line. That's pretty good size. I think highlights in that O-line, Jaden Potter, Lincoln North Star, Trent Patesel, Boone Central, a couple guys that stood out. And then on the defensive side of the ball, I think both teams are going to bring an edge. On the North, first off, on the front, Brecken Erickson, North Platte St. Pat's really stood out to me, along with Jordan Vasquez Shaw, and of course Hudson and Chaplin are throwbacks. Defensively for the South team, the two bookends. First off, Henry Prohaska, Elkhorn South, one of the best players on the field, I feel like, today. I got a chance to see him in a playoff game this year. Outstanding player. Blake Hawkins, Gross, both bookend type of players, impact players. I think they'll stand out as well. And then scheme-wise, the South team took more of a traditional approach this year. They came in, had their offensive and defensive split already done. They were ready to go and kind of hit the ground running, as opposed to the North, where Coach Kuzer wanted to really get in here, get eyes on the guys. So he had them work both sides of the football, offensively and defensively, and then he was going to decide where he's going to put people on which side of the ball. And he's going to have quite a few, I think, playing both ways. Offensive scheme for the North, I think they're going to have a downhill run game. I think you're going to see power. You're going to see ISO, power read, bootleg, play action. And then they'll try to stretch the field vertically. And then scheme-wise for the South, I think you're going to see some personnel groupings, some downhill run game. They're going to try and find some matchups, and then it comes down to what didn't the team show in our scrimmages, and what don't we know about. I know they always have a few tricks up their sleeve, so that'll be exciting to see and see how that storyline develops.
Always interesting, the dynamic of an all-star game. You talk about, okay, you have a week with these players, you picked them, but then you have practice, you see them, and then you ultimately decide who's going to play where and how. What is that sort of time frame from your experience as a coach when you know, is it practice 1 where you say, hey, I know exactly where everyone's going, or 2, 3, and how do you progress to get to the lineups that both these teams have come up with?
Well, that's what's interesting about today. I think, again, the South took more of the traditional approach. They're going to decide after watching film and try to get their guys in here, maybe have a couple guys go both ways or maybe switch them from the offense to defense, where the North said, you know what, I've got to get eyes on these guys. We got to meet each night, at least the first 2 or 3 days, and then we're going to try and get figured out where we want them. So it's going to be interesting to see how that storyline develops, like I said. But both coaching staffs are outstanding and no football inside and out. I expect a really competitive, outstanding game today.
And it will be the North team that has the ball first. Absolutely beautiful day here in Kearney. The 66th Nebraska Shrine Bowl about to take place here on News Channel Nebraska. We are glad that you're with us. Final high school game for all of these players. Not only are you a great player, you're nominated by coaches based on the character of person that you are, and the proceeds and everything raised related to this game helps benefit the Shriners Hospital and its mission. And with that, we are underway here in Kearney.
Well, the South team did a great job covering the opening kickoff there as tackle was made in the middle. They were trying to have more of a middle return there, and Valverde from Pierce with the return, but couldn't quite get to the wedge, and a host of guys from the South team able to bring him down.
As with an all-star game, there's a few rules that are different than standard football. Kurt, specifically on the defensive side, no blitzing. You have to have a 4-man front and 5 yards off the ball. Is that for the linebackers?
Yeah, and it'll depend on the short yardage goal line situations, but just like they do here, they rolled up into a 4-4 early. And a guy we didn't spend a lot of time talking about, Sebastian Boyle from Scotts Bluff with the first carry of the game. Boy, he's put together well. He's tough. He's physical. He's going to be heading to the Citadel to play football next season. Really outstanding football player, and I expect him to get a lot of touches.
1,000-plus yard rusher for the Bearcats as a senior. Like most of these players, all-state type of guy. He enjoys collecting candles and writing in his free time.
He's got a softer side, but he's definitely hard-nosed on the football field. Bryce Chaplin, lead blocker on that one, just couldn't quite get a seam. They were able to shut it down a little bit on that side. And, again, the front up for the South team from Elkhorn South, Henry Pratt's got one defensive end, and Blake Hawkins from Gross the other. I think that was Gross, student-athlete there. Hawkins making that tackle.
So 3rd down and 2.
Watch them to pull up and throw here. Esch is dangerous on the outside from Columbus High. He's really dangerous in space. But they go to Valverde.
Not going to see that one off and just slipped through his hands.
Yeah, I thought it was a good ball delivery there. Came out early, and, I thought Nolan Moss was on target there. They ran all hitches, tried to get their athletes in space there. He probably could have took a pick between Esch or Valverde. He chose Valverde. He just couldn't reel it in. So now we're going to switch sides here a little bit.
That punt hits right at the 35 and down at the 40. We'll get our first look at the South offense after they force a 3-and-out.
So, in the pregame, Norfolk High tackle, Zazawada? How do you say the last name, Brandon? He, he rolled his ankle a little bit.
Zazweda. Yes, Norfolk High.
Rolled his ankle a little bit, but I see he's going to start. He did punt on that last play. It was a little bit of a tough play, but it looks like he's a go. I was a little bit nervous to see if he was going to be able to get things going.
We talked about the South having a 3-headed monster in the backfield. The North not too worried about it there on the first carry. Couple maybe for the South.
Isaiah Weber with the carry to the right side. I thought, he really looked good in the scrimmage. He packs a punch, can definitely break some arm tackles. I really like that North defense, though. They flowed to the ball really well the other day, played with really good bounce, and it'll be interesting to see how that story develops here. Hank Hudson in the middle from Boone Central. He does a great job of directing traffic.
South to the air, and it's Trevor Spady, the intended target.
Well, I would think you want to mark that down on your stat sheet. I don't think he's going to have very many drops today. The other day when I watched, he had about 5 catches in the scrimmage that were outstanding. All were in traffic, so I expect that to maybe be one of the few times you see that during the game today.
Well, this first quarter is brought to you by the Kearney Visitors Bureau. Find it all in Kearney, our first quarter sponsor here. And it's a beautiful day in Kearney as we are just past 1 minute into this Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Third down, and there it is across the middle. And, Coach, didn't take you long to be shown right. Spady atoning for the drop with a big first down pickup.
Well, Coach Lamonge's enjoyed that guy's services over the last couple of years. He's an outstanding football player. The West Side Warriors obviously have had an outstanding run. And that young man right there really stood out the other day, not only in pass receiving but blocking as well. I would expect him to have a big day. They're going to try and find his number quite a bit today, and I expect big things out of him.
Future Northwest Missouri State Bobcat, 4 different family members have played in the Shrine Bowl, so he had good experience to draw from preparing for today's game.
Yeah, he's got a lot of people he can talk to, but 4 people in your family playing in the Shrine Bowl, that is amazing. Isaiah Weber with the carry there up the middle, ran into that stout middle of the North defense over there, and looks like Cale Kaufman from Bennington on that stop.
So 2nd down and 6 as the South is in North territory. Ball in the 35, little bubble screen, and it's caught. First down. Ball was on the ground. South does recover.
That could have been an interesting change of possession there. Did a great job. Drew Mosier from Waverly, really appreciate his hustle on that play. He covered a lot of ground. He had a lot of space to cover, and he got out there and got in on the play, and could have been a little bit bigger if he doesn't get out there.
I believe that was Skogerbo on the reception on that bubble screen. Sets up another first down for the South. Pitch to the near side. He is gobbled up. First one there for the North was Hank Hudson, representing Northeast Nebraska.
Yeah, Hank Hudson, I saw enough of that guy over the last few years to last a lifetime. He can run the field really well. He's not just a tackle-to-tackle linebacker. He can play outside the box. Obviously, he's a coach's kid. Coach Hudson, they've talked football for years and years, and that's one of those guys that knows the plays, what's going to happen before the plays ran, and that was an example of it right there.
Well, 5 wide here for the South, 2nd and 9. Baxter in trouble, and he's taken down.
That was Brecken Erickson, North Platte St. Pat's. Coach Dotson from North Platte St. Pat's has really enjoyed that young man. Chance to exchange text and nothing but great things to say. And I'll tell you who else liked him were the North coaches. The North coaches spoke about him at the scrimmage the other day, really high on him, thought he turned in an impressive couple days, and it looks like he's ready to go for this game as well today.
As is the case, a lot of these players are not just football players, they're athletes, and Erickson, no exception, state champion in basketball this past winter with St. Pat's. Setting up now a 3rd and 17. Baxter, he's going to tuck it. There's a lot of yards to make, and he'll be about 4 short of the first down.
Well, hats off to the North Side secondary. They made him pull that down and run it, and then it was a headsy play by Owen Baxter from Lincoln Southeast. I feel like, he's one of those quarterbacks that really sees the field well. What he saw right there was a lot of red jerseys covering his white jerseys, so did a great job of holding the ball down and scrambling and bringing up a very important 4th and short here. This big play game early. Timeout. This would be a great time to mention the legend, Jim Langen. He is the white hat today for the officiating crew. Jim Langen has been working Nebraska games for a long, long time. I'm excited to see him take over today as the head referee. You couldn't ask for a better white hat to be out here. And I know the big thing about Jim doing this game is he appreciates the importance of the game. He appreciates how huge of an honor this is. So congratulations to not only Jim but the rest of the officiating crew, but definitely want to point him out a little bit.
Obviously, I mean, an extremely cool thing. All that goes into putting on an event like this, you know, from the Shriners, the coaches, the players, as you just pointed out, the referees, all unified in the mission of what this game represents.
Yeah, everybody's on the same page when it comes to that. And, you know, and we talked about a little bit in the pregame how important it is for these players to get out and participate and compete at a high level. And you know what? To a lot of these guys, they haven't had a chance to play in a state championship. This is their state championship. Big fourth down.
The South needing 3. Baxter didn't have his first look. And he throws on the run, and Spady will hold on. There is, though, a flag in the backfield. I have a feeling Coach is maybe holding.
Jordan Vasquez Shaw from Omaha North draws the holding call, and rightly so. You know, I thought he did a great job the other day in the scrimmage, and I talked to the North coaches the other day. That was one of the guys that really stood out to him. You know, he's a player that really looks the part. When you look at him, he is an outstanding-looking athlete and definitely one of those guys that could have a big game today for the North. On the flip side, Baxter, you know, did a great job of buying time, and then who caught the ball? Obviously, that guy we talked about early, Trevor Spady. He's going to have those chances today to make those plays, and I would not be shocked if they didn't go right back to him.
Here's another look, that throw on the run. Right to Spady, just unfortunately for the South, isn't going to count.
So that might be the only time that Jim Langen pulls his flag out of his pocket here. And we are going to be 4th and short again. Here we go.
There may have been I think there was an offsetting penalty.
Yeah, we had offsetting, so it's going to go back to the spot, and we're going to do it all over again.
So 4th down and 3. Baxter in trouble again. He's wrapped up and goes down, and that's sack number 2 for Erickson.
Brecken Erickson, Nord Platte, St. Pat's. I'll tell you what, the legendary Coach Dotson's got to be smiling in the stands right now somewhere. He told me that guy was going to have a big game today, and boy, first defensive series, that guy comes out and has 2 humongous plays. Great job by Brecken Erickson.
Well, that's the other thing about this Shrine Bowl All-Star game. You have Class A, B, C, down to 8-man at times, and you're all on the field together, stacking it up, and you see players across the board excelling.
Yeah, do an outstanding job of getting these matchups here. Well, I'll tell you what, Henry Prohaska got off the football on that one, and he absolutely blows up the play. I'm sure you'll see that happen a couple more times today. He got an inside move, and he was able to get underneath the tight end and did a tremendous job, not only getting underneath the tight end, but blowing up the lead blocker and then also getting in on the tackle. Henry Prohaska is one of the best players on the field today, one of the best-looking athletes. He's going to Northwest Missouri State. He's going to have a great opportunity down there to have a great career.
This time handoff goes to Prestido, and not much there.
Yeah, and again, the other bookend, Blake Hawkins from Gross, plays for Coach Van Hout, who is one of the assistants for the South team. Those two dudes, I had a chance to talk to a couple of coaches, and Coach Head was one of the coaches that's coaching the defensive line for the South, and he said, I expect those two guys to have a huge game for us on Saturday, 3rd and long.
So official word from the third member of our broadcast team, Michael Shively, there was a defensive rules violation, which was what offset the penalty on that Spady touchdown. And we have a long ball just outside the fingertips of Chase Wiegert.
So we have a game of inches going on right now. First off, again, Blake Hawkins from Gross one step away from getting a big sack to end that. And then on the flip side, he doesn't get the sack, and it's inches just overthrown to the wideout. And Chase Wiegert from GI Northwest was almost able to haul that in. So both teams dodging a bullet there. But same result. We've got a punt here for the North.
Punt muffed for a second. And nothing there on the return.
He was able to run it down. That was a little tough. That was Scargerbo again from Papio South, I believe, on the return. And he was able to corral it, get it pulled back in, and save the possession. And here comes the South offense. Just that little hesitation right there, having to gather the ball, allowed the North cover team to get down there and get him under wraps and get the possession stopped there. And here we go. North will take over, or South will take over.
That was Borchers of Battle Creek making the tackle on the punt coverage, and there is short pickup for the South here on first down.
Yeah, Brecken Schluter with the carry there, trying to find a seam. He's one of those guys that you're going to have to gang tackle. You can't get a clean shot on him all the time. He's, gets through the hole pretty skinny and doesn't give you his full shoulders. He's always kind of twist and turn a little bit, so he does a nice job not giving a great targeted defense. But that time they were able to tackle him after a couple yards.
Schluter, the Huskerland Preps D1 Player of the Year. Was in that state championship game this past fall for EMF.
And here he gets a seam, and look at the leg drive there. So nice fit, actually, from the safety. He was able to make contact at about 6 to 7 yards. But again, I thought just a great job by Brecken Schluter with the leg drive, getting the extra yardage. Yeah, yards after contact is always a big number you watch as a coach, and there were some good yards after contact there.
Scoreless here in the 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. 3.5 to play in this first quarter. This is the second drive of the game for the South team. They did get down into deep North territory before having a turnover on downs.
So, there's got him corralled early there. We did have a couple linemen pulling out, just couldn't quite get into people. I felt like that was one of the things they want to do, is establish the line of scrimmage, obviously on both sides of the ball. And early on right now, the North has established, or excuse me, the South has established the line of scrimmage a little bit. They just don't have the points to show for it.
So 3 consecutive carries for Schluter. We now have a 2nd and 6 as the South nears midfield. Back to Schluter again. They're riding him on this drive. That's another first down.
So a couple good linemen pulling out front for him. First off, number 79, Cooper Feeney from Lincoln East, and number 77, Cooper Johnson from Lincoln Southeast. Both those guys coming on the counter action a little bit. I'm sure it's at least a run option where the quarterback's either going to give it or pull it and run it. I didn't quite see if they had a route complementary to that on the other side, but he did give it, and both those guys leading out front did a tremendous job blocking.
Sticking to the ground game here.
So Isaiah Weber from Gretna, again, running behind his pads, but he was able to get to the edge a little bit, but then nice job by number 50, Reed Kelly from Grand Island Senior High, making that stop there. He got off the block and was able to get over there and get on the tackle. So clock is going to run here pretty easy. Everybody's running the football right now. Not a lot of pass attempts. This could be one of the faster games we've had in the Shrine Bowl.
2nd and 8. There's Skogerbo getting to the edge.
And Skogerbo is lightning in a bottle. If he has any space at all, he's going to be a lot of trouble for the North defense. I thought they rallied to the ball there really well. Had a couple guys definitely get to the edge, get him down. It's going to bring up a 3rd and short for the South. And we are approaching 1 minute here left in this quarter.
Third and short.
I don't know if he got it. He was able to lean across, twist, and turn. That's one of the things about Isaiah Weber. He's always falling forward. He's going to be heading to Midland next fall. I thought Midland got a great running back. He's a guy that could be immediate impact for the Warriors, I think, next year. And I'm sure Coach Jamrog is excited that he's coming his way.
So the South team methodically working its way down the field here. And this time play action. Baxter rolling out, has his receiver. It'll be about a 5-yard pickup.
A nice pitch and catch there on the edge. Just did a nice job with the timing. And that's one of the things you're always concerned about. It's just the timing and everything, right? And both these guys did a great job. He got to the edge, got the ball delivered. Just did a tremendous job with that. And it was a good route, good timing, good catch, good result on the play.
Caden Rezak of Ogallala with the reception.
So you feel like the South's kind of been controlling the tempo a little bit in the flow of the game thus far in the first quarter.
Baxter with time.
Got space. He ran a corner route there, and I believe he was trying to get to the outside a little bit more, probably left that ball hanging up in the middle just a little bit more than he wanted to. Really good route ran by Xander Ruling there of Kearney. Coach Cool has been enjoying that guy and his offensive arsenal over the last couple years. That guy's really dangerous in space as well, too. And I think the skills that we have on both sides, you give him a little bit of room, it could be dangerous for the opposing defense.
Xander, as well as Bo Buchanan, the 2 Kearney High Bearcats playing on their home field here for the Shrine Bowl. As that one a little bit too high.
Pressure applied again by Reed Kelly, Grand Island Senior High. So we had an open receiver. Baxter had some time there, but just not enough to probably get a ball delivered just like he would. So it's going to bring up another 4th down. So the South has been driving, been controlling the tempo, but then 2 big 4th down plays in the first quarter here, and see who gets the better one of this tilt.
The intended target on that last play, Maverick Binder of Auburn, who's had success on both the football field and the basketball field as Binder motions across. And it's Spady. He has one more defender to beat.
He couldn't quite shake loose. Boy, I like the play call by Coach Gatula. He had set up the roll all to the right. Everything was going to the right. Then they snuck Spady out to the left. And I'll tell you what, those type of plays a lot of times are going to hit in all-star games just because you don't have time to prep for that. But they did a great job. And one of the guys that first slowed it up, keep an eye on this guy today, Braden Wapkin from Logan View. I went to the scrimmage the other day. That guy was all over the field, had a great bounce, really appreciated his effort and attitude. One of those guys that really stood out, going to Northeast Community College next year to go to school. No, this is going to be his last football game here.
Last play of the first quarter. Prestito.
They're trying to establish things right into the heart of that South defense, and they're going to keep trying to do that through the course of the game. Right now, they haven't had a lot going through, but as the game goes on, it's going to be about which team can hold court a little bit, which team can, is in better shape. Right now, coming into this game, a lot of times kids aren't obviously in mid-season shape, so it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the course of the game.
0-0 after 1 here at the 66th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. You're watching News Channel Nebraska.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options. Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
This broadcast is presented by Buffalo County and Kearney County CASA. CASA volunteers make a difference and change the lives of children. Become a volunteer today. And by Buffalo County Fair. Meet me at the fair, Buffalo County Fair, July 24th through the 28th.
As we talked about, it's more than a game. Someone who knows all about that is Hope Borman. Hope, let's start with your experience with Shriners Children's. Why is it that you're a part of that organization?
Shriners, it's such a special thing. They help so many different children, including me, and they're just wonderful people. And their main goal is to help the children, and that's what they achieve every time. And they're just super great and super supportive and proud of everything every kid does that is a patient of them.
So the players have learned throughout the week that some people are born with different challenges. What challenges do you have, and how have you overcome them?
Well, I was born with complex syndactyly on both my hands, so that's where my fingers were webbed together. And so my first surgery was at 10 months old, and growing up, like when I was a baby, I had to learn how to crawl with 2 casts on both my hands, so I had to crawl like a gorilla. And just like in school, like sharpening a pencil or even like carrying books or things like that, but I've learned how to do it my own way, and I can do it just as good as everyone else can.
Talking about the experience with Shriners Children's, we know about how they help out financially. What's the experience like? It's stressful moments when you have to visit a hospital.
Yeah, growing up, with the Shriners visits, they have a red wagon at the entrance of the hospital, and I saw one day that I was at the hospital that the wagon was empty almost, and so I thought of this good idea to start a fundraiser to collect toys for the kids at the hospital. And so every time we'd go to Minnesota, we'd have a huge carload full of our toys in vacuum seal bags so they'd all fit in our car, and we would take them to the wagon and fill it up for kids, so the kids, when they walk into the hospital, it's not such a scary place for them to go.
Well, that's awesome. And now you get to be a captain here for the South team at the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. What was it like? I know leading up to the game, you got to know some of the guys, some of the families.
Yeah, it's such an honor to be here. It's a really cool experience, and I'm definitely cherishing every moment that I'm making with the team and just being at this field. And it's so cool meeting all the players and all the people a part of the Shriners that I might have not known before, but now I'm getting to know everyone, and it's a really cool experience.
Well, congratulations on the honor. Congratulations on graduating. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
Guys?
Thank you, Michael. Again, Kurt further illustrating just that this is more than a game, as we are now in the first quarter, or rather done with the first quarter, into the second quarter. We saw a completion to Stein, making that catch, a future Northern Illinois.
Yeah, he's also a coach's son, Coach Stein, longtime coach in Nebraska, currently the head coach at GI Northwest. He's obviously done a great job instilling some great football IQ in his son, and son made a great play there to extend.
We do have a flag down as there's a tackle in the backfield. That was Carson Murphy of Kearney Catholic making the play.
Yeah, he did a great job coming up from his safety spot. He really can cover some ground. He's got high football IQ. I felt like he saw the field really well the other day when I watched, and there's just a prime example of one of those guys getting downhill and kind of anticipating the play a little bit. He just did a tremendous job. Now, on the flip side of things, you always want to be careful. Those guys get down on the run fits a little bit, or a short pass fit, and they're trying to get on the edge. Then you always got to watch a play action or a vertical pass over the top. So I'm sure their coaches are always reminding them that as well, too. So, but 3rd down and 11 now as we get going here in the second quarter. It looks like Hudson in the backfield for the North. He's playing both ways. And I believe that's Donaldson with a short hitch route for the North there.
And it'll go down as about a 5-yard pickup for Donaldson.
So Dean Donaldson, he's tall in the pocket, really can deliver the ball really well, as you can see there. He did a nice job delivering the ball, just not enough to keep that drive alive. And here comes the South special teams out on the field with a couple guys that definitely can really do something with the football if they get some space. But we're going to have a fair catch. So that is Xander Ruling Kearney with the fair catch, and that'll set up now the South offense, their first possession of the second quarter.
So 0-0 your score on the Nebraska Army National Guard scoreboard. Discover your path at nationalguard.com/NE. Kurt, as a 3-time coach in this game, just sort of your takeaway from that first quarter on what you saw from both the North and South squads.
Well, not really any surprises right now. Pretty much what they've shown in the scrimmage is what they're doing so far today, so not really big surprises in that way. I think both the offensive and defensive lines are playing well. There's been good on both sides, and, I think it's going to be, again, that team that is able not to make a huge mistake in their own territory. Now, this is the first time the South's really had what you would call maybe not great field possession. So if they're able to, dig themselves out of this end of the field a little bit and keep this possession, even if they don't score, that would probably help keep things going their way a little bit. But again, right now, 0-0. If you're a defensive coordinator, you're liking the way this game's shaping up.
That was a 1-yard pick up by Weber. Now 2nd and 9.
So Spady.
And there's some yards after contact for you. Spady picks up about 12 more after the original catch.
Spady is an outstanding football player. He's obviously got a great pedigree. He does some tremendous things with the football after he catches it. He had that drop early, and I said that might be one of the few ones. You need to mark that down, circle it, whatever you need to do, because I didn't think it was going to happen. And obviously they just got a matchup they like, delivering the ball, and he did the rest. Colby Duncan taking over at quarterback, the Gross Catholic young man, coming in doing a great job this past season and the year before, obviously, as a quarterback for Gross.
And believe ball went to Zimmerman, Drake Zimmerman of Ashland Greenwood.
Well, you want to talk about another guy I've seen plenty enough of over the last couple of years. So we had the unfortunate pleasure of playing Boone Central and Ashland Greenwood over the last couple of years. Both those programs obviously played a lot of football in November. Outstanding teams, outstanding job just getting their team ready to roll each and every week. And both those guys are graduating it between Hake Hudson and Drake, and excited to see that.
And there's Spady's hit as soon as he makes the catch. Coach, gotta like that when you see a DB on the outside coming up and laying a hit like that.
Yeah, I believe that was Esch from Columbus playing defense for the North team, able to cover some ground. Let's see on the replay if I can catch his number a little bit. But, yeah, that is. Esch is one of those guys offensively that is a great matchup for them, but obviously can do it defensively as well. Has had an outstanding career for Coach Craig Williams over at Columbus High, and one of those guys that just is a good football player, but also a really good person as well.
That ball was batted at the line.
So great job by the big guys up front getting a hand up and knocking that down. I'll tell you what, Tanner Esch was really close on that one as well, getting to that ball. Tanner Esch got it tipped up a little bit higher. That might have been a pick six heading the other direction. We would have had some fireworks for the North defense. But North defense able to hold, and here comes the punting squad for the South.
That was Vasquez Shaw of Omaha North, the one who got his pop to knock that one down.
I'll tell you what, the coach has had a lot of great things to say about him. Coach Larry Martin, I know, has done a great job cultivating just competitive attitude with those kids, and that's very evident in the way he plays. We've got space.
Solid return for the North, courtesy of Prestito.
So Prestito, again, one of those guys that gets out on the edge a little bit and has a little bit of room. He definitely can be dangerous, and he showed that right there. And nice job with the return by the North special teams. Gorgeous day out here today. I'll tell you, I don't know if the Kearney Chamber of Commerce got together today and ordered this weather or what, but they did a tremendous job. You couldn't ask for a better day.
We are sitting at 78 degrees and sunny here at Ron and Carol Cope Stadium, as that one intended for Wiegert.
You just get a little bit antsy about the timing and just delivery of everything when you haven't had a chance to get a lot of reps, and a little bit of space, not much. Great job closing in on that. Jackson Gates from Norris, I thought, did a tremendous job there closing. But, I think they get comfortable. Dean Donaldson's the guy that can get in the groove a little bit and get some things going for the North.
6:42 left in the first half of the 66th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl here on News Channel Nebraska. Brandon Axelman, Michael Shively, and Kurt Frenzen with you for all of the action. Still scoreless, as Donaldson may have gotten back to the line of scrimmage there.
So great coverage on the back half of the defense, but I'm going to circle a guy up front. Number 57, Kellen Peterson from Aurora, gets a push into the interior of the North offensive line. He just did an outstanding job using his hands, moving his feet, and collapsing the pocket back towards the quarterback, and was enough to disturb the quarterback where he had to pull it down and try to get some yardage.
Another coach's son. Peterson from Aurora. We have Stein from Northwest, Hudson, Boone Central. Interesting how that works.
Yeah. Outstanding wrestler, too. Guys out here today that are good football players, also great on the wrestling mat, especially as interior linemen. You'll see that a lot of times. Peterson trying to disrupt there as well. But I'm going to point out number 97, Garrett O'Hare. They're trying to run a screen right at him. He sat down and did a great job. Great discipline play on his part, and that draws a punt out of the North.
And over-end punt. Goes out of play. That was Bruling back to return it.
That's a tough ball to field. It was almost end over end. The wind was kind of tailing a little bit. Looked like one of my golf shots, Brandon. But did a great job trying to track it down. Just couldn't quite get to it. But again, they're down here. And again, what's not great field position. So that's kind of been the story of the second quarter. The South has just kind of been under the shadow of their own goalposts. Haven't been able to get anything going really offensively too much. And field position, the battle's definitely been in favor of the North.
Looks like we got a timeout on the field, which is a perfect time to go down to the field. To Michael Shively for more.
Well, thanks, guys. This is a showcase for players, but it takes a lot of people to make it happen. Volunteers from the Nebraska Shriners, and also volunteers at athletic trainers. I want to talk about Dave Regier. He's the athletic trainer for the South Squad. It's his 6th year volunteering his time throughout this whole week. He comes up from Fort Worth, Texas, where he had a standout career. But it's all possible, he says, thanks to Shriners Children's. He was born in Hampton, Nebraska, and needed an amputation on his leg. He had some work done at Shriners Children's in Minneapolis, was a patient for about 5 years before transferring his care back to Omaha. But because of Shriners, he says he was able to have his career in athletic medicine. He went on and was a student trainer for Nebraska football for 5 years, then was a head athletic trainer at Winona State, assistant trainer at TCU before starting his own clinic. He's been the head of athletic medicine for the National Shrine Bowl game. That's the East-West Senior All-Star game at the college level. He's led that for 19 years. Now he comes back to his home state. He says it's all about taking care of his roots and honoring the organization that's made it possible for him to have his athletic medicine career. A great story, Dave Regier, the 6th-year trainer from Texas, originally from Hampton. He's not the only guy, though. Also, Kurt Bierhorst. He's the athletic trainer for the North squad, and he's been volunteering his time now going on 22 years. So a big thank you to the athletic trainers who make this game possible.
Thank you, Michael. Getting a look at some of the training staff there. And Kurt, if that doesn't sort of demonstrate exactly what we're doing here, I don't know what does.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that go into this game and do a great job. And it's just great, not only people that are currently helping, but just some of the legends they recognize down on the field as well, too. I saw Coach Snodgrass down there. I saw Coach Gross from McCook. They were honoring over in the end zone, among many others, some of the alumni here in the Shrine Bowl. So pretty awesome to see those guys. Look out for Isaiah Weber. If that guy gets going, it could be a long rest of the game for the North. He is put together well, and he delivers a punch when he runs the football.
It's his 6th carry and his best carry of the day thus far. This one going for 9.
He just reads the field really well. That's one of the things. There's the first cut, and then he runs over the next guy. Then it takes, you better gang tackle that guy. I'm telling you right now, if you can't get multiple hats to the football, you're going to have a long night for your defense, and that was a prime example of that right there.
Sticking on the ground here, this time going to Zimmerman. Also a good gain.
So, great job by him finding that seam. Zimmerman, you want to talk about great vision. I could put up a highlight reel from the last couple of years of him playing for Ashland, just the vision that kid sees. But point out some guys up front. I saw a great job by Cooper Johnson finishing and blocking through the whistle there. You're going to have a lot of guys up front for the South trying to get some things going here. And the North defense needs to get a stop here on 2nd down.
Back to Zimmerman on the pitch. 1st down and then some.
So there's the great vision, right? And you see Cooper Finney right away from Lincoln East. Pulls, good punch. You know, he's going to go head to Morningside. A great football program to go there. And the legendary Coach Gendry from Lincoln East. Been there a long time, and they've won a lot of football games, and he was a big part of those wins over the last couple of years, Cooper Feeney.
So again, we saw a couple of drives like this in the first quarter for the South. They get the run game going. They get into North territory.
Looking to stretch vertically here sooner or later. You know, that's one of the things. Ground and pound, Zimmerman, Isaiah Weber. You'll see Schluter come in. And then look for a play action with a throw up top at some point in time. I could see it happening on early downs, 1st or 2nd, not just on 3rd. But they have the ability to do that. They have the ability to stretch the field. With 3 minutes left here or approaching 3 minutes, I could see them taking a shot up top here pretty soon. And if I'm them, I'm going to look at Xander Ruling from Kearney to try and get some space on a safety. They're going to run hitches underneath.
Leave that Skogerbo. It's his 2nd reception.
You know, I saw that kid the other day in a scrimmage really battle for a 50-50 ball. You know, he's not one of those big, tall, rangy receivers, but nothing's out of his reach. I don't care where it's at on the field. I don't know what his vertical is. I should text Coach Clemenger and see. But he's got the amazing ability to go up and get the football, and once he gets his feet on the ground, make amazing plays as well.
Sets up a 3rd and short for the South team. 2:30 and change remaining in the opening half.
Look for Zimmerman to get a carry here. And they run that little counter with Zimmerman. He does a great job getting in behind the line. So great job first on the point of attack on the left side. Cooper Johnson, Lincoln Southeast. Cooper Finney, Lincoln East, really getting that side of the ball moving. And then the right side coming around. Both those guys did a tremendous job pulling. You want to talk about a big, imposing dude, Orion Parker Plattsmith. He's one of the biggest players, wrestler. I believe he's heading to Iowa Western. Yeah, you get that guy pulling around, look out, get out of his way. Been a big-time player for Coach Larson over at Plattsmith over the last few years.
So with 2:03 to go, the South team will take a timeout. We'll take a timeout as well. South driving, currently scoreless in the Nebraska Shrine Bowl here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The 2024 Nebraska Shrine Bowl's hometown athletes are proudly supported by Sitta Deli in McCook, Nebraska Orthopedic Physical Therapy in Lincoln, and the Blind Pig in Springfield.
There's no doubt that the connections made between Shriners Children's patients and the players and coaches of this game are real. Just check out Coach Mark McLaughlin in attendance Monday at the Beyond the Field event. Emberlyn Hemmer was the captain for the South team last year, coached by Coach McLaughlin, who's the head coach at Platteview. They still stay in contact, talking about once a week. They've been in touch, they've met each other's families, they hang out, and they hung out here on Monday. It's a lasting relationship created at the Shrine Bowl.
Thank you, Michael. Lasting relationships. How about some lasting memories for Xander Ruling right there on that tip drill?
We had just talked about that. When is the South going to go up top? When are they going to look for Xander Ruling? But Xander Ruling does a lot of that. Battles for that 50-50 ball, is able to pull it down, and I bet you get a heavy dose of Drake Zimmerman.
31 yards from Ruling, as predicted, going back to Zimmerman. And let's look at this again, because it's well worth the replay.
I'll tell you, he did a tremendous job here just going and getting the football. You know, he put it in a spot where he could go get it, and he got a hand on it, was able to tip it to himself and pull it in. It wasn't bad coverage. I mean, the coverage was pretty decent. It's just Xander Ruling from Kearney doing a great job out battling for the football.
More hard yards on the ground.
Tick-tock, tick-tock. We're winding down here in the first half, and if I am the South coaches, I want to take as much of this clock up as I possibly can, score a touchdown, and give a short amount of time for that North. So we'll see here. I'm sure you're going to get the Isaiah Weber. We're going to get a full house backfield here. You've got number 41, Keenan Flannery from Papio South, the main guy up front in this Maryland I. Oh, we go play action, wide open. He bowed through.
It was nearly picked.
So Coach Catula saw something he liked, and he did have Flannery open in the flat. Honestly, I think if he goes to Flannery here, it's 6 points. So you can see how open Flannery is open, and he's clapping his hands saying, I was there, I had it. But he saw the back route kind of come open. I think he threw it just a little bit late. So Coach Catula rolling the dice down here, but they got a penalty, I believe, half the distance. The goal must have been a legal defensive call on the North. Either that or pass interference.
It was widening on the coverage. See, well attended here, Nebraska Shrine Bowl at Ron and Carroll Cope Stadium. It's 1st and goal to go from the 2. Power formation.
Weber.
Waiting for it, and he's in there. South strikes first right before halftime.
Well, it's the big guys up front, first and foremost. Cooper Johnson, Cooper Feeney. I believe it's from Scott Wiskoski. You also have Buchanan from Kearney in there. Orion Parker from Plattsmouth, I believe, was the offensive line you had up there. Jackson Kirchhoff from Dundee County Stratton's been in there, as well as Trevor Spady. So a lot of guys blocking. But I'll tell you what, you get Isaiah Weber, Drake Zimmerman, Brecken Schluter, any space at all, those guys are going to make you pay. And I feel like the North had kind of been flirting with that the whole first half.
7-0 is your score on the Nebraska Army National Guard scoreboard. We're off here in the 66th Annual Shrine Bowl. 7-0 South. We'll be back.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The yellow jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. And we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Brandon Axsmith, Kurt Friends, and Michael Shively with you. 7-0. Isaiah Weber punches it in for the South from 2 yards out. We have 22 seconds to play before the halftime break.
Going to depend on field position here. If they can get some decent field position, they might throw one or two downfield a little bit. If not, Coach Kuzer might be okay with just going to halftime. It's going to be interesting to see what they do. There's only 16 seconds left in the half. And if you are the South defensive backfield, they're just being told right now, do not let anything behind you. And they're yelling that several times. So we're going to see how this all plays out here in the last 16 seconds. Looks like Doty is in at quarterback right now for the North, the Sydney quarterback. And we got some space. He got out of bounds. So, yeah, that's Quentin Archer from Bennington. Boy, he can find some spots, man. That guy is dangerous. Obviously, Bennington, I don't know, they haven't lost a game since, like, I don't know, 2018 or something. Coach Lenhart has had an amazing run, and it's great players like this has definitely helped that cause.
Not bad runner. Archer also enjoys World War II history and builds Legos. In his free time. He'll be playing football at Ottawa and plans to study engineering.
So there was a late hit out of bounds, and they're going to mark the ball up there. So Jim Langen's crew on top of it there. 10 seconds left. I guess we know what they're going to do now. They're going to try and get some points out of this. Look for Valverde from Pierce over here in the slot. That guy's dangerous as well, too. I could see something happen with that. So Jim Langen on the call. Got a motion penalty against the offense. He's going to march him back a little bit. So a little bit of movement. And still pretty much in the same situation here. They've got 10 seconds. You probably got about enough time for 2 plays. Do you run something to the sideline and try to get out of bounds in this situation? Do you try to get 4 verticals and throw a jump ball best you can downfield, get up there and spike it, and then get one more play? It's going to be interesting to see the philosophy here from the North staff.
Be a keeper for the quarterback. Did he get out of bounds? He did.
He did get out of bounds. That's going to get us down to 5 seconds. So just Coach Kuzer's probably thinking there. They're going to be back playing deep. If we could get Doty, who is a speedster, a little bit loose, maybe we get 15-yard gain and we can either have a choice then to throw it into the end zone or kick a field goal, was his thinking there. And now I would say they're going to throw it because who's coming into the game? Probably the best, or at least one of the top passers on their side, Dean Donaldson, Lincoln North Star. I like Esch here as a matchup. If they can get it to him up in the outside, he definitely can do something.
Donaldson.
And they got a PI, drew the pass interference. So Esch, they're going by high school rules. It does not matter if that ball is catchable or not. If there is contact when the ball is in air, that is a pass interference call, and that is the call that has been made. And so Esch draws the PI call. We got 2 seconds left, and we're going to have one play right before half. See if the North can get some fireworks here to end the game, end the half.
Best field position of the day for the North.
And all came with 22 seconds left in the first half, so they've been able to get a big chunk. And here we go. We got a field goal attempt coming up. The big fella from Norfolk coming out with a field goal attempt.
The guard / kicker, Sam Zazueta.
Zazueta.
And this is 44-yard attempt.
Ooh.
I have to wait a second.
All right, so timeout on the field for the White here. Are they going to change their philosophy here and throw one up the end zone? Or are they going to go ahead and line up and kick the field goal, hopefully take the 3 points, 7-3 at half? Well played first half, though, I want to point out. Not a lot of flags in the first half. No, turnover-wise, there hasn't been. It's been a really clean game, honestly. And that's a compliment to the coaches. When you come in here and you have short time to prep, to be able to come in here and play the first half as clean as both of these teams that played the first half, that just tells me that the coaching staffs are both doing something right and preparing these kids. And then also, obviously, a compliment to the kids themselves and how they prepped and prepared mentally and physically this week.
So here we go. Looks like we're still going to see a field goal attempt from Zazueta. 44 yards, has the distance.
The big fella knocked it through, so Zazueta coming with a big kick to end. We talked about fireworks for the North, and we got some. We got the field goal, and we had some fireworks going off over here in the North end zone on top of the hill, so the National Guard up there firing the cannon off. And that's the end of the first half. So great ending to the first half. We had a score with just 22 seconds left, and then the North was able to get down and get 3 points back. So exciting flurry to end the first half, Brandon.
So there it is, 7-3 your score. South takes the lead into halftime on the Nebraska Army National Guard scoreboard. Discover your path at nationalguard.com/NE. 1 half in the books here in Kearney. We'll be back with our halftime show here on News Channel Nebraska.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
This broadcast is presented by Buffalo County and Kearney County CASA. CASA volunteers make a difference and change the lives of children. Become a volunteer today. And by Buffalo County Fair. Meet me at the fair, Buffalo County Fair, July 24th through the 28th.
Salas weaving in, weaving out, and Sky.
Hey, sports fans, looking for a convenient pit stop before or after the game? Look no further than Good to Go convenience stores. We're here to keep you going. Fuel up your tank with a refreshing drink and grab one more snack for the road. Good to Go, your winning play for game day.
Hey, I could dunk it too.
Good to Go convenience stores. Fuel up for the game locations in Lincoln, York, Geneva, Bruning, and Hebron.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Beautiful day in Kearney. We're currently at halftime of the 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. 7-3 your score. All of the points being scored in the final 6 minutes of that second quarter. Kurt, let's take a look at our halftime highlights to see how we got here. 7-3, though, at the break.
Definitely a lot of highlights defensively, but then obviously the offense had some big ones as well. Starting off with Trevor Spady there. We talked about his ability to catch the ball in traffic. He did that, yards after contact as well. Former West Side Warrior, just an outstanding play there.
And we saw some great defense by North Platte St. Pat's. Erickson, a couple of sacks in that first quarter.
Yeah, he did a great job getting off blocks and getting to the quarterback. Made a couple big plays for his team when they needed it most.
This was a great play. Didn't count. There was a hold, but excellent catch by Spady. And then Erickson would end this drive with another sack.
Jordan Vasquez-Shaw was able to draw the holding on that call or on that play and get it called back.
More Spady as we were still scoreless in the first quarter.
Yeah, Nyaruba, a big play, former Lakin High player, did a great job coming up and sniffing out that screen. Just did a great job there getting that play and that tackle.
Would be an all-star game if we didn't have some big hits. That one courtesy of Carson Murphy of Kearney Catholic.
And that's offense dishing out some big hits, right? And I believe that was Spady again as well. Yes, it was. Yards after contact, doing a great job getting through some arm tackles.
We're now in the second quarter, and Kearney High's own Xander Ruling with the acrobatic catch.
And to me, that was the play of the game thus far, was that ability to reel that in. He just did a great job. What I saw in the touchdown was just the push by the offensive line by the South squad. They did a great job of just getting into people up front. And then like a good heavyweight fight, we just had a flurry to end that round. And what a great job by both teams. Get the score by the South. North comes back and answers with 3 points right before half.
Isaiah Weber with that touchdown. Zazueta with the 44-yard field goal as time expires. 7-3 your score at the break. Stay with us. More halftime show when we return.
If you love live sports, you'll love News Channel Nebraska. Live sports from every region of the state. Football, volleyball, basketball, baseball, soccer, bowling, and even six-man football. If Nebraska kids play it, we air it. Small-town high schools with big hometown pride. Support local kids, support local schools, support Nebraska. Watch NCN Sports every week.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
A new year, a fresh start, a resolution to grow more, gain more, give more. The process is the same: plant, grow, harvest. But the way you do it is always evolving. And so are we, Aurora Cooperative. Grow, gain, give. Aurora and you.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
The 2024 Nebraska Shrine Bowl's hometown athletes are proudly supported by Sitta Deli in McCook, Nebraska Orthopedic Physical Therapy in Lincoln, and The Blind Pig in Springfield.
Welcome back here to the Nebraska Shrine Bowl in Kearney. I'm joined by Brad Kane. He's the Imperial Treasurer with the National Shriners Organization. First, Brad, let's hear, what does that mean? What does your title mean?
Well, I am Imperial Treasurer of Shriners International, and that means I am in charge of seeing the financial statement preparation and assisting the temples around the world with their accounting, budgeting, and control needs.
So there's a lot going on with that. Update folks that maybe haven't heard about what's going on lately with Shriners. How are things going? What are some of the current initiatives and missions?
Well, we have Shriners International, which is basically a large fraternity, and we have chapters or temples in 8 different countries. And we also have as our philanthropy Shriners Hospitals for Children. Shriners International is 152 years old. Shriners Hospitals for Children is 102 years old. The hospital provides services in the areas of orthopedics, cleft lip and palate, burns, and scoliosis or spinal cord injuries, and that is to patients that are between 0 and 18 years of age at no cost to the family.
Well, that's such an incredible mission, and these games help support it. There's games across the country. What about football and athletics ties well with Shriners?
Well, kids love to play games when they're growing up, and obviously as they get older and get into junior high and high school, they play sports. And we've been involved with assisting kids, as I said, for 150 plus years. And when they have an injury that's one of the areas that we treat, we're happy to help them.
Well, I know you're from Kansas. How do you think we do it here in Nebraska for the Shrine Bowl football game?
Excellent. I've been to 3 different Shrine Bowls, Alaska, Kansas, and Nebraska. Each one of them is different, but really they're truly there to raise money and awareness for our hospital system. Doesn't matter how much you make, doesn't matter how many kids you bring in, it's just great to be here.
Well, Brad, thanks for telling us a little bit about the organization. Enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
The Nebraska Shrine Bowl continues here on NCN.
Thank you, Michael. Always good to get more and more perspective and hear from more representatives from the Shriners about what goes into making this game possible. Brandon Axmit, Kurt Frenzen with you. About 3 minutes on the clock before players come back out. We get ready for third quarter action. Let's talk coaching staffs. Kurt, we've alluded to it, but let's give them the credit that they are due. First off, for the North, we talked about Chris Kuzer and leading this North team. Yes. From Norfolk High, but what goes into being, you can't just be a head coach. You have to earn your stripes first.
It's definitely a kind of a labor of love. Once you get the nod for that, you immediately start getting into work mode and trying to figure out best approach to this game. Coach Couzer's had a great staff put together by himself and the Shriners. He was a Hemingford guy, went to Concordia, has coached at Grand Island Senior High, Bridgeport, Sidney, and Norfolk. His assistants on his staff, James Thompson, Lincoln North Star, he's going to help with defense today. He was a guy that had the opportunity to coach under a legend, Ron Colley and Mike Behrens. So Bear is well known across the state in the coaching circles, one of the best coaches. One of the most entertaining coaches as well. Ryan Smith, Sidney, had a huge year out west with his Sidney Red Raiders. They did a tremendous job this past year. West Point, Chadron State, Sidney are places, went to school and then also collegiately at Chadron State and coached bulk of his career at Sidney. Chad Cottow, Lee native, so right down the road from us in Columbus. Wayne State grad, been at Harrington CC since, helping out with the offensive line, one of the very well-respected coaches in our state. And then Jason Jones, Grand Island Senior High, coaching the defensive line. Played for Coach Olson at Hastings High, went to Midlands, been at Grand Island Senior High ever since. And then Matt Skipp, one of Coach Couzer's assistants, helping with the defense this week. Spent some time out in Colorado and has made his way back to Norfolk. So great coaching staff for the North team. And then on the south side, Coach Ryan Gatula, again, has put together a great staff along with the help of the Shriners. Table Rock Steiner alum, went to UNO, spent some time at West Side and been at Lincoln Southeast ever since. On his staff, Grant Trainowitz, Lincoln Southwest, helping out with the linebackers, Nebraska Wesleyan, been in LPS in Lincoln Southwest since. Tom Van Hout, Omaha Gross Catholic, helping out with the O-line. Gross alum, went to Hastings College and then returned back to Omaha Gross. The coach has, at his alma mater, made a trip to the state championship a couple years back. Clint Head, very good football coach for Hastings St. Cecilia, helping out with the defensive line this week. From Iowa, coached in high school and college ranks in Iowa and Nebraska both. I don't know if there's a more decorated guy than our next guy, Chris Ardeniso. From Bruning, Davenport, Shickley. Get this stat line. He's been in the playoffs 23 years, 17 district titles, 51 playoff wins, and 4 state championships. Are you kidding me? Those numbers are insane. So he's on the staff this week helping out with the wide receivers. Fred Thorne, Lincoln Southeast defensive coordinator from, he's done a great job working with the DBs this week. Lincoln Southeast alum played for Coach Mazurski, walk-on wide receiver at UNL, and then back to Lincoln Southeast. And then Andy Ryan, Lincoln Southeast, helping out with the running backs this week. Overton native, went to UNL, and then Lincoln Southeast. So great coaches on both sides, very entertaining staffs, all know football, and they're doing their kids really well this week. Just excited for these guys to get this honor, and they have not disappointed as both teams have been well prepared and played a really good game thus far.
We are ready for third quarter action in just a few minutes. Nebraska Shrine Bowl 7-3 your score. We'll be back with third quarter action.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives. And led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
Welcome back. It's about time to get the Shrine Bowl rolling again here on News Channel Nebraska 7-6 South. The lone touchdown of the game up to this point coming from Isaiah Weber with just 22 seconds to play in the second quarter. Then the North came down and get its first points via a 44-yard field goal by Samuel Zazueta. And the South team will get the ball to start things off here in the third. Kurt, you go into the locker room, you make your adjustments, you assess what happened in those first two quarters, you come back out and try to see what you can do. What do you think the conversation was, first off for the South team, then for the North team, for both coaching staffs?
Well, first off, I think for the South team, they just want to see some fruits of their labor. They have driven the ball quite well at different times. You know, a bunch of backs combining for 111 yards on the ground in the first half. Kind of would drive down there, and the drive would stall because of penalty or whatever it may be, or just a good defensive play from the North. So they want to see some fruits of their labor. For the South, they've been kind of hanging around, or excuse me, for the North, they've been kind of hanging around, staying in the game. It's 7-3. They could be, honestly, a couple scores down. So what they need to do is get a quick stop. They need a 3-and-out. They need to keep the field position, and then they need to put a drive together and answer and take the lead early in the second half. I'm sure both staffs trying to make a few adjustments. If you're on the North defense, you want to get these guys into third and long instead of third and short because they've been making a living on third and short all the first half.
So you had an illegal procedure on the kickoff. South will start from the 35. Baxter under center. There's the pitch to Weber, who did punch that one in from 2 yards out to round out the second quarter. Legs still churning.
You know, and again, they just started where they kind of left off. They were trying to get the ball edge a little bit. I just thought they did a nice job in the first half of getting the line moving forward, and they did that again. So at the point of contact, you saw Cooper Finney of Lincoln East and Cooper Johnson, Lincoln Southeast, really representing LPS really well and getting that left side moving. That's definitely tilting on that side of the field a little bit. Both those guys did a great job there. You got second and medium, and this is what you want to be in if you are the South.
Right back to Weber. He picks up 5 or 6. It'll be close to a first down.
One spot on this side says it's short, and the other spot says it's got the first down. They moved it back to our sideline, so looks like it's going to bring up that third and short where we say they've been really living well in today. If you are the South fans, you're excited to see this situation come up because you got that big line they're running behind. They're starting to lean on those dudes up front for the North.
Three in a row to Weber. It's a first down. He picks up 5, maybe 6. Puts the South in North territory.
And if you're Coach Gatula, you're excited because Weber did not get hit or even touched on third and short until it was about 3 yards downfield. And again, that starts up front. That time I thought Orion Parker just really caved down that side. The Platt Smith alum, one of the biggest players we talked, a very decorated wrestler. That guy can play football, and not to mention Ryan Weiss from Omaha Gross as well. Both those guys do a tremendous job. And Flannery in the game from Papio South, he's kind of that flex tight end guy. You know they're going to run the ball usually when he's in.
Not much there for Zimmerman.
Yeah, that was a good play by the defense there for the North. That was much needed by them to slow the thing down a little bit. So, you know, as you look at the North defense, Hudson and Chaplin, Hudson from Boone Central, Chaplin from Broken Bow, they'd had enough and got a good fit downhill. And I thought the guys up front did an outstanding job slowing things as well. And they're going to need to continue to do that. But second and long, that's where they want to be.
And speaking of that North defense, we got the official stats at halftime. And what else really sticks out to you about the performance on the North is someone who nearly had 10 tackles in that first half.
Yeah.
Because you have a completion across that far side and a big pickup.
Yeah, Drew Mosier, 8 total tackles. So just a tremendous job on his part getting into fits. But, again, who do they go to when they need yards? They go to 87, Trevor Spady. And the metro area coaches, I'm sure, sent this guy a graduation present when he graduated this year, and they're glad to see him go. He's definitely an early candidate to be player of the game offensively for the 66th Annual Shrine Bowl.
Have him down at 62 yards on 4 receptions after that one. And here's Zimmerman. Right up the middle.
Zimmerman gets space in the interior, and he's as dangerous as anybody on the field. And when you watch him, it's the body lean. He plays behind his shoulder pads. He's always running. He's got great control of his feet, and he can make that first cut and then get yardage and then make that second cut once he gets to the secondary. And again, just been a nightmare to prepare for over the last couple years. Tremendous back for the Ashland Greenwood Blue Jays and Coach Thompson. Got them to the semifinals this year and almost upset the Boone Central Cardinals in the semis.
Back to Zimmerman again. That'll be enough for a first down. You're saying it wouldn't be hard for you to believe that he is the leading touchdown scorer in a season at Ashland Greenwood?
No. That guy has had an amazing career. They have a great football program at Ashland. I can't say enough about that crew and how they run things over there. But obviously they're blessed with some great players as well, too. And Drake Zimmerman's been following a long line of players over the last decade and a half.
First and goal to go from the 9 as Zimmerman bounces it outside. Looks like he's inside the 5.
And what do you see out of that South? You see the line always finishing. You see the line always moving forward. What do you see out of the backs? You see Weber. You see Zimmerman. You see Schluter always leaning forward. They're hardly ever stacked up and getting pushed back. And that's bad news if you are on the north side right now. You need a big play down here to get a turnover and get this drive stopped.
Second and goal from the 3. You have Weber, the deep back, and they go to him.
That's a good play by the North. So here comes our guy from Logan View High School, the guy we talked about a little earlier, Braden Wapkin, coming in off the edge. Did a great job, great energy. He's one of those guys who's got to step up and make some of those plays on the edge. They need a push up front from a couple of these tackles, though, in this Maryland I.
And Weber might have been kept out again.
So another good push by the defense. And you see the big dudes in the middle getting off the pile. That's a great sign for the North. After driving down there all the way off tackle, they've had a couple, I would say, B-gap runs, if you want to call it that, and they've been able to slow the pace a little bit. Now Coach Gatula, is he going to do play action? Nope, he is going to line up and kick the field goal here on 4th and short. This is a win for the North. The way that drive is going to hold them to a field goal right now, this is a huge win.
20-yarder.
It's good.
Blitz the uprights. Patrick Gross of McCook puts 3 more on the board for the South, making it a 10-point game. South 10, North 3. Here in the third quarter in Kearney. You're watching News Channel Nebraska. So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. Now we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast for the night.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
Welcome back. 10-3, your score. A impressive drive as we have a muff on the kick return.
Hey, good job by Valverde. I believe that was him being able to reel that back in and save the possession. They don't get great field position, but they at least have the ball. But hats off to that North defense, bowing their back deep in their own territory and being able to keep the South offense out of the end zone. That's huge. And now they're one possession ball game. They're going to take over here and try to get going, and it looks like Isaac Doty from Sydney going to take the field here as the quarterback. I would say he's more of your RPO guy out of the three, although I believe Moss from Waverly obviously can do some of those same things. Face mask. I believe they missed a face mask down there. We didn't get a call on that. That would have helped out their cause a little bit. But your bookends coming in, making a play. Great job by Prohaska initially making contact. I'll tell you what, the South's lucky Henry's here. If this would have been a week later, he wouldn't have been here. His sister Ellie's getting married next week. Ryan Samuelson and Ellie Prohaska are going to be getting married next weekend. So, again, if this game was a week later, Henry wouldn't even be playing here. I think his sister would have had something to say about that, but congratulations to them. Got a big day coming next week.
And Prohaska's father played in this game. You know, one of many who gets to draw from being a legacy.
Yeah, and what a great experience for these guys as a family. You know, if you're Henry being able to talk and share this experience with your dad. You know, Jeff Prohaska's a guy that played at Lincoln Southeast for Coach Mazurski and then was able to play in this game, and then obviously on to UNO and had a good career at UNO as well, too. So just a big football name at Elkhorn South. The older brother, Teddy, obviously starting left tackle at Nebraska currently.
Doty going for it all. Drops it in the breadbasket. A huge pickup for the North. Catch made by Chase Wiegert of Grand Island Northwest.
So that kid's a great athlete. GI Northwest really enjoyed not only what he could do on the football field, but other sports as well, too. And he got in behind the secondary. And I'll tell you what, Doty dropped a absolute dime over the shoulder, and that was a shoelace tackle. Otherwise, this game's tied up. So the North on the move, and we got some excitement going here early. After a quarter and a half of all defense, actually 3 quarters of all defense, it's been all offense since then, Brandon.
Biggest play of the game from either team. That is a 52-yard pickup for the North as Doty hands it off to Boyle.
Yeah, look out. If Sebastian Boyle starts getting going, you're going to really feel good if you are those guys up front and in the backfield for the North team. Up front, I thought that time, I thought you saw some good blocking on a Trent Patesel on that right side. He did a tremendous job getting some movement, along with some of the other guys up front, Jaden Potter, Cole Dubbert. I believe Mauler from Elkhorn North, and Braden McGill. But Blair really got some lean going up front. And there's Boyle again on the edge, man. He's tough, but they got him short of the first down.
Riker Wohlers of Douglas County West with the tackle. A reminder, this third quarter is proudly presented by the Kearney Visitors Bureau. Find it all in Kearney. Kearney Visitors Bureau, our third quarter sponsor.
I don't know what the record is for fastest Shrine Bowl game played without weather concerns, trust me, because last year would have been. But this game's got to be close. I mean, we're coming down here on the end of the third quarter already.
Doty to the air.
Tell you what, that's good concentration out there. That was not an easy ball to catch. He made it look easy.
That's Valverde of Pierce.
Valverde has been a nightmare for opposing coaches over the last few years. Coach Darren Suckstorf this past season took him over for the legendary Mark Bramer. Really used him in a bunch of different ways. Just did a tremendous job getting the ball in his hands any which way he possibly could. And Valverde definitely did a great job of rewarding his team. They definitely made a good run again this year.
There's about 3, maybe 4, but there is a flag on the field.
I wonder if we don't have an illegal defensive alignment again. Mr. Jim Langan on the call down there. He's like the voice from above when he talks. Doesn't he have that? He just has that authority.
The look, too.
Yes.
He's got the flowing locks.
Long flowing locks. He really does. God bless him. All right, so big play here. First down. They got to short field now. They just need to capitalize. What they don't want to do here, obviously, is shoot themselves in the foot. They just want to stay in rhythm, keep handing the ball off. They've got a couple big guys to run behind up front, and then obviously Hudson and Chaplin and Maryland Dye here leading the way. Give it to the near back. So Chaplin from Broken Bow, I believe, on the carry there. He just couldn't quite shake loose, but did get a couple.
Looks like that was Peterson on the tackle there after the short pickup.
I've been impressed with Peterson. I feel like he does a great job using his hands and feet. I would attribute that not only to his work on the football field, but obviously the wrestling room as well. Just does a great job getting off blocks and getting to the play. But where do you run here? I mean, the front up there for the South has definitely done a nice job.
And look out, hard run by the North and into the end zone.
Okay, I'm going to point out that's a great run, and he did a tremendous job there. I believe that was Prestito from Papillion. But on that play, it started for me with Joe Stein. Joe Stein, the tight end, really did a great job setting the edge. And if you get a replay on this, I believe
there was a penalty, but it was against the defense. We'll see if we can get another look.
Yeah, you see on the edge there, that's Joe Stein just getting a push. And he won that battle. That's two dogs going at it there. Between number 5 from Omaha, Gross Hawkins, and number 86, Joe Stein. Those are two high-end football players. Stein just got enough push there to get the Papillion running back Prestito into the end zone. But great job up front by the North. You know, I thought they came out and really established some things up front. And if you're the North offensive line, you really like the way that drive game. I'll tell you what, could you want anything more? We're almost headed into the fourth quarter. We got a tie ball game, Brandon. Beautiful weather. What an awesome scene here in Kearney.
Don't go anywhere. 10-10, 90 seconds left in the third. You're watching the Nebraska Shrine Bowl on News Channel Nebraska.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Your score on the Nebraska Army National Guard scoreboard here in the 66th Annual Shrine Bowl. The North team just punching it in, courtesy of Prestito. And things have livened up since the very end of the second quarter, now through the third. We're seeing some scoring. What do you attribute that to? The All-Star game, familiarity, chemistry?
Yes, all that. I think you've just done it. You've had our coaching staff really do a great job of settling in and calling the game on both sides of the ball. I feel like your players have really settled in and figured out the timing. Just a great job by both teams adjusting here and doing a great job of really settling in and playing great football. What an honor for these kids, though. You know, we have our own player out there right now, Humberto Adame, playing for Lakeview, representing our school. And I can just tell you what an honor it is, not only for him, but for our football program, school, and community as a whole, to have him playing in this game. You know, his grandpa's at home right now. I know watching this game, really rooting him on. A guy that we've had at Lakeview, Ron Greenwall, coached since the Lakeview became a school back in '69. And just want to give a shout out to Coach Greenwall. He either coached high school football or junior high football at Lakeview for well over 30 years. And when he was a part of our school district, just a tremendous guy, a guy that went way back. And I know one of his close friends, Coach Bruckner, was one of those guys that they just enjoyed coaching football, did a lot for our football program over the years. And I know Berto's playing his tail off for his grandpa today.
Brings up a 2nd and 8, and there it is across the middle. About 12 more for Was that Spady?
No, that's Urchel.
Urchel.
So on cue, Berto gets a little pressure on the quarterback, was almost able to get there. Adami did a nice job getting a hand up, just quite couldn't finish. But I'll tell you, Urchel is a guy that stood out to me in the scrimmage the other day. Not only catching the football, but blocking. He's a guy I talked to, hey, what are you doing? He's going to play outside linebacker at Fort Hays. I think Fort Hays got a steal. And if they wanted to move him to offense, I think he'd excel on that side of the ball. But they got two really good tight ends for the South team. And that's Schluter with the carry, Exer Milligan friend. They are sorry to see him go. He's been a tremendous player for them. Flannery over there leading away, I believe, as well. He's kind of that flex tight end, Flannery is, from Papio South. Really good football player for Coach Clemenger over the last few years, and that's going to bring an end to the third quarter. And, Brandon, we are tied up. Boy, this is the type of game you want when you get in this situation.
10-10, 12 minutes to play in the 66th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl here on News Channel Nebraska. We'll be back.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
This broadcast is presented by Buffalo County and Kearney County CASA. CASA volunteers make a difference and change the lives of children. Become a volunteer today. And by Buffalo County Fair. Meet me at the fair, Buffalo County Fair, July 24th through the 28th.
Tied up in the fourth quarter. That's exactly what you want to see, especially if you're the first-year executive director of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. That's John Cerny. John, what do you think so far of the game?
Oh, it's a great game. Exciting. You can see the kids on both teams are having a good time. They're cheering, and, it's a great game, intense game, and, I'm kind of curious to see who's going to come out on top.
We got a deep pass here, and it's hauled in.
Oh, my goodness.
And dancing into the end zone. Brandon, take it away.
Is that Weber?
How about that to start the fourth quarter? Trick play, Isaiah Weber finding the end zone. Kurt, what did we just see?
Well, we talked about what did the coaches not show. Obviously, everybody's got a few tricks up their sleeve, and we get the toss to Weber and the pitch back to the quarterback on the flea flicker, off the reverse. Weber streaking down the right sideline. I'll tell you what, he did a great job of catching that football. It was a great delivery. I believe it was Baxter that delivered the ball. And so North has a bunch of momentum, right? They put a score together, tie this thing up. What great timing. So if you're the South coaching staff, you're coming out and you get an opportunity to get that play solidified before they take the field to start the fourth quarter.
Well, talk about some fireworks. Let's go back to that interview with Michael and John Cerny.
Without fail, Brandon, it happens once a broadcast. We got to get our chats in. We got to get the action in. John, talking about how fun this is. Your first year running the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. What does it take to put this together?
Well, there's a lot going on behind the scenes. There's so many moving parts in this with the different partnerships that we have. And, like I said last night at our banquet, we got a good staff, and we made the moving parts all one excellent machine. So we pulled it off this year, and I really appreciate the work of all the staff that I have that are behind the scenes helping.
All people today hearing about your philanthropy, Shriners Children's, also hearing about the great work the fraternity does. If people want to get involved, join, donate, what's a good way to do that?
Well, they need to look for the guys wearing these little funny hats, because we'll be glad to help them get involved and tell them the process to become a Shriner.
Well, you have more than 30 years as a head football coach yourself. What's your assessment? What needs to happen in the fourth quarter?
Well, you notice they're throwing when they got the win. So, that's been a big part of this game so far, and we'll see if hope the North can get some things going here and get back into this game.
Well, thanks, John, and congrats on your first Shrine Bowl.
Hey, thank you. Very much appreciated. Thanks to News Channel Nebraska for being a partner with us.
It's our pleasure. Brandon, if you need another trick play touchdown, just send it down here. I'll get you hooked up.
I think Ryan Gatula might take you up on that. Or excuse me, Coach Chris Kuzer of the North. That's what they want right now is the trick play of their own. Kurt, exciting way to start the fourth. Third year that News Channel Nebraska has been doing the Shrine Bowl. We're pleased and excited to be here and excited for what John Cerny is doing with the organization now as the executive director, and excited that we have 11 and a half minutes of exciting football here to go.
Yeah, John took over and had big shoes to fill. Dave McDonald led the Shrine Bowl organization for a lot of years and did a tremendous job. And so not an easy role to fill by any means. And John obviously is working his hardest to try to carry on that tradition that Dave McDonald built with all the rest of the crew over the last how many years. So hats off to him for stepping in and taking that role. And hats off and big thank you to David for all the work that Dave McDonald did through all the years for the Shrine Bowl and handing that over to John Cerny. And John taking on that task, and it's not an easy one.
And we'd be remiss if we didn't say Dave was the one who came to NCN, and we figured out a way to make this all work. And we are excited that it has turned out the way that it has as we have a timeout on the field. With 10:57 to play here in the fourth quarter. We'll take a quick break as well and come back here to Kearney. You're watching the Shrine Bowl on NCN.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Back to game action. 2nd and 12 for the North. There's the pitch. And cutting it back. Nice run and gain for Quentin Archer of Bennington.
So Quentin Archer does a great job of really reversing field a little bit here and getting a big play on 2nd and long. And that's the big thing is if you are the North team, you don't want to push the panic button. You don't need to throw a bunch of deep balls here. You just need to pick up first downs and keep pace here on the scoreboard. So it's going to be important to see how they react here. And, you know, the way they come out and line up Maryland I think they're patient to get first downs and move the football.
Pads are popping.
That was a collision. So you had on the South team Seth Erickson York, who's been doing a great job, a really hard-nosed player for Coach Snodgrass, the New York Dukes over the last few years. He gets down in a run fit, and you had both Chaplin from Broken Bow and Hudson leading the way. And he is taking on those two dudes. So this is not for the meek and mild down here right now in Maryland I.
Back to Prestito across midfield, and that's enough for another first down.
I'll tell you what, somewhere in this state right now, Jack Gugamas from Aurora, Bill Carlin from Adams Central, two guys that had the Maryland I as staple their offense over the years. They are rejoicing in seeing this right now in the Shrine Bowl. I guarantee they have got a little bit more interest in this game right now. But Coach Kuzer had mentioned he might come out in the Maryland I a little bit and run, and right now they're doing a great job. And you can't do that if you don't get things done up front. But you got some big hog mollies up front and getting it done. Trent Patesel right now. You have McGill from Blair and also Marler from Elkhorn North. You also have Daubert, I believe, from Elkhorn North in there, and then Jaden Potter from Lincoln North Star. And then you have your ends in there with Joe Stein, and then also Michael Burt from Creighton Prep. That's a D1 player. He blocks well, catches well. He's going to be going over to Iowa to play football.
First down and 10. Prestito again, and we have a late flag that came in from the near sideline.
That was Seth Erickson getting some gymnastics in. He was doing a pop-up there as he was getting up off the pile. You want to conserve that energy a little bit when you're facing a team that's running the Maryland Eye at you right now. But love his energy. He's going to get down in that run fit. So looks like, again, that the North's going to be content to stay in this and run the football if they can.
Another one of those defensive special rule violations for the South there, so 5 yards walked off for the North.
You know, outside of these special rule violations, there haven't been many penalty flags. And, again, hats off to these players, these coaches, for coming out here dialed in and really playing a clean football game.
Sticking to the formula right now, Prestito with about 4 more.
And, again, what are you seeing? You're seeing our man Chaplin from Broken Bow, hard-nosed player. You know, Broken Bow has really established that blue-collar mentality under Coach Carly Wells out at Broken Bow over the last couple years. They had a tough football team this year, barely lost the eventual state runner-ups in Wahoo this past season in C1. They're going to be have another good football season this year, but as players like this young man, that Broken Bow's really got some things going with.
Run to the outside by Archer.
And again, starts up front again, right? So you have Joe Stein on the edge blocking. You also have Trent Patzel on that right side. And then you got to like, if you're the North squad, how they're just gelling at that Maryland Eye right now. Chaplin, Hudson carrying out the blocking up front, and they're kind of rotating between Archer and Prestito to try and get fresh legs, and the guy dotting the Maryland Eye.
Not much there.
Where there's your definite keep him honest fullback give that Nebraska fans saw for years under the rule of Tom Osborne. Always get that fullback to keep the defense honest and then try to pop something off the edge off that. So I wouldn't be surprised you saw some play action. But, again, thus far they've just been okay with the formula to stay true to that. They would need to run on second and long here and give it to Archer. All right, right side did a great job blocking there. So if you see that, Trent Patzel does a great job coming down on the double team and then working off the linebacker and gets enough space for the running back to get up in that seam. And now you've got a third and manageable, third and short for the North team. And what's happening, the clock's getting drained. And so things are working right now on the North's advantage.
7:40 to play in the 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. North trailing by 7. And that's not going to be enough for a first down. It'll bring up a fourth.
Well, they had enough of that, and who did they call on? Cooper Johnson from Lincoln Southeast, the big fella. Number 77's been playing left tackle all night on offense. They get him over on defense, and he just destroys that side of the line, gets underneath and blows it up, and now we got a very important fourth down with just about 7 minutes left.
And the North going for it here. Pitch to the outside. It'll be a first down. Hard run by Archer to keep the drive going.
What great vision. What balance. Great cutback by Archer. Not to say there wasn't some blocks thrown up front, but you got to have great vision and body lean to see this. So he runs an old-fashioned toss play out of Maryland Eye. Cooper Johnson almost made a tackle short of the first down, but then Archer able to get out of that guy's grip and get to the first down, and we got a drive is alive under 7 minutes.
And they fake it to Archer. Rolling out. Going for it all in the end zone. Nearly intercepted. Pass broken up by Jackson Gates of Norris.
A tall, rangy defensive back there, Gates from Norris. He did a great job breaking on the football. You know, I feel like they thought they had a 50-50 shot there, but he did a great job breaking on that football. Both tight ends release out of the Maryland eye. One running a corner route, one running a post. You just try to find your matchup on that. He thought he had his matchup, but just couldn't quite get the connection there. So second and long out of Maryland eyes, never numbers you like.
Another pitch to Archer.
But when you got Archer, you got a shot.
Hard yards, he gets at least 5.
There is some collisions going on. They're playing this football game in a phone booth right now. And I'll tell you what, if you like old school football, go find your friends, gather around the TV on News Channel Nebraska, and watch this game, because this is old smash mouth Keith Jackson Big Ten football coming at you right now. This is old school. This is fun to watch for me. But I'll tell you what, if you don't like physical football, don't tune in. This is one of those games you don't want to watch. This is real men football going on right now.
Sticking to it, Archer gets a couple before being taken down by Cooper Johnson and company.
So you had guys diving on the field, and he had to leave the ground and try to jump over the pile a little bit to get the first down. That's going to bring up a 4th and short, and quite honestly, this is going to be a play of the game. We got guys on both sides bending over at the waist a little bit, trying to get their breath. You would think they're running a track meet right now, but what this is just a heavyweight fight with guys just throwing body blows at each other. And who's going to hit the big shot here? 4th and short. Do you go to Archer? Do you hand it to the second back through? Quarterback wedge.
It's marked right at the
Did
line.
He bobble that a little bit? It almost looked like he lost it for a second.
South saying they're short, naturally. It'll depend on the spot.
All right, so Jim Langen's crew on the spot. I'm sure we're going to get a measurement. It's past the yard line, but I don't know if it's quite enough. I think I bet they're going to be about 2 or 3 inches shy. Now I'm on the opposite end of the field and a long ways away, so let's not get too critical if I'm off here, Brandon. I said 2 to 3 inches, the over-unders.
Here it is.
It might have
I think
been
you're
4
right
inches.
you were off by half an inch.
Well, big stop for the South nonetheless. Now, much needed stop. This is going to be a tied. Now the North's got to regroup. They've got to get, you maybe can allow 1 first down, but you can't get a situation where they continue to let them drive the ball here and milk the clock. Boy, Coach Catula's been, I wouldn't be surprised he threw one up top here just to put a nail in the coffin early. When it's an all-star game, you have a little more, I guess, just freedom to do those type of things maybe, but we'll see. We probably are going to get a steady dose of one of those 3 running backs, though.
Two or 3 yard gain there on first down.
I believe it was Schluter with the carry. Exeter Milligan friend. Great balance by him. He's always, again, one of those 3 backs. All 3 of them, take your pick. They all fall forward. They're all getting yards after contact. Just do a tremendous job. So 2nd and 6. Here's a big down and distance right here. They need to get a stop here and get a 3rd and medium or more.
4:20. The clock continuing to roll down. 2nd and 6. Again, South trying to just chew up as much clock as possible. Loss on the play. This will bring up 3rd and 8 or 9.
It's a big-time stop there. Both the North and the South are trying to impose their will here, and I thought it was just a great job by the whole front of the North defensive line to get off blocks and get to that play. I mean, if you're the North, it starts with that Brecken Erickson, North Platte, St. Pat's. I think he's had an excellent game. But also all the other young men that are playing right now for that North. This is huge, 3rd and 8.
Hard yards up the middle, still churning the legs.
I think he might have got the first down. What a tough run. When you got a stable running backs like that and you can balance out the carries, the guy's got fresh legs. You look at the defense for the North, Chaplin and Hudson were in that Maryland I drive, and now they're playing linebacker. You know they've got to be a little bit tired. I know they're both tough dudes, don't get me wrong. But fatigue's got to set in a little bit. They need to get a stop now. They're going to have to start using their timeouts.
In the North with just 2. But you can't allow another first down at this point.
Erickson was the first one through there to, again, make an impact. And then I believe it was Jordan Vasquez-Shaw, the Omaha North Viking, helping clean up along with a host of other North defenders. We got a timeout on the field, Brandon. This would be a great time for this North to get rested, especially if you're one of those guys going both ways. But, again, I got to go back. What an impressive game by both teams. I've enjoyed this game a great deal. 17-10, 2:33 on the clock. Well played by both sides. Very well-coached game. Just been an outstanding football game. This is what you would want, right? This is what you would expect. You have the best high school football players in Nebraska. You have the best high school football coaches in Nebraska come together and just have a, combine for a very entertaining and exciting game. And if you're a fan of the game, you want the North to get a stop here so we can potentially see a game-tying score. And either overtime or they go for 2. And if you're rooting for one side or the other, obviously you want your team to do well. But as a fan of the game, I don't necessarily want this to end. So hopefully North can make this interesting, get a stop a little bit.
1 timeout remaining for the North. 2nd down and 10. 2:33 to go.
Weber.
Across the 25, bring up 3rd and about 4.
Ball security a must here, definitely. If you are the South team, you're Weber running the ball right now. Obviously, coaches are yelling at him, 2 hands on the ball. Make sure to take care of the ball at all times. You want to finish blocks if you're up front. You want to try and end this game right here on 3rd down. This could be the play of the game that's going to decide it, whether the North's going to have another shot or not.
Third and 4, here we go. Pitch to Weber. He's hit in the backfield and is held short of the first down. No gain.
That's just guts by the North squad. That's just them wanting to stay in this game. You got a bunch of dogs out there playing right now. Hank Hudson, I know, the middle linebacker from Boone Central, getting in on that play, did a tremendous job there. But it starts again up front, and then you just had guys flying to the football. So hats off to the North. They're going to get the football back, minute 43, and we saw what they could do late in the first half with short clock, short time. We'll see if they can get something going again here with short time here in the 4th quarter. So outstanding job by the North. They're going to get the ball back here. It's going to be a matter of fielding this punt, trying to get as many yards as you possibly can, but you have to get possession of the football. The wind's blowing a little bit. If you look at the flag, it is definitely, waving in the wind a little bit. So that does not make fielding this punt easy. This is no gimme. And so it's going to be important to field this punt clean, try to get 5 to 10 yards, and set your team up. Fortunate enough for the South, they're going to have the wind at their back just slightly here. So he gets this up in the air. That can really play tricks on the ball a little bit. And when you can run spread punt, the coverage is really good here. So they're going to go 2-by-2 and cover this punt. That doesn't give you a lot of time as a punt returner here to do something with it. Turns it over as well, too. Fair catch.
Made by Prestito.
That's a good play. I mean, if you're the North, you just want the ball right now at this point in time. So Prestito, fair catch it, field it clean, get our offense back on the field. Hey, and the North's got playmakers. If you're looking at this North squad, Ash stood out to me in the scrimmage the other day. He's the Columbus High discover that if he gets any space at all, he is going to be trouble in the secondary. And he can break arm tackles. And that guy made plays all year long for the Columbus Discoverers. So, you know, try to get him. Valverde, much publicized success. You got Prestito in the other slot right now. Hudson's going to pass pro, but you could always throw to him out of the backfield.
Maz of Waverly at quarterback.
They got the matchup, and now they're playing soft coverage, so they've got space underneath. Prestito has plenty of room, and he gets the ball and then gets a big first down, gets it across midfield on the first play.
17-yard pickup from Maz to Prestito.
So you're in a predicament a little bit here yourself. Do you get a little more pressure with the threat of giving something over the top? Again, Esch can stretch the field. You have the GI Northwest Wiegert that can stretch the field, a tremendous athlete. If you come out of too much, screen games in play a little bit. Hopefully, if you're in the South, you got Prohaska that can get to that quarterback. But they throw underneath again. And look, Prestito gets a little bit of space. Look what happens. He's moving the chains. First down again, I believe. Nope, they're going to say he's short at second. Clock's going to run here. Nope, they gave it to him.
The North in South Territory.
There's been short passes so far right now. Esch is open underneath. They try to get a corner out. Oh, they had him short. A little bit late, just couldn't come up. He probably would have been tackled right away, and the clock would have been running. So, honestly, in that scenario, it wasn't a terrible situation. That's a good job by the defensive line, disrupting a little bit. Prohaska up front. And also the Omaha Gross Hawkins trying to get some things shook loose there. Minute 08, tight ball game. So Chaplin in for Hudson in the backfield now. I'll give Hank a little bit of a breather. Oh, no.
And is it picked off? Interception. And that should do it. INT, Dawson Kissinger of Hastings St. Cecilia. What did you see, Coach?
Well, what they've been doing is obviously trying to hit some underneath routes, and they've been hitting Prestito. And they'd hit him for 2 first downs, and they just did a great job anticipating it, jumping the route a little bit. He hung the ball up just a little too much, didn't throw it on the money like he needed to. And hats off, Blue Hawk pride reigning big time there as he gets the pick. And the Hastings St. Cecilia alum gets the interception. That's going to seal the game with a minute left here, minute 03. So victory formation, the worst formation if you are on defense. And that team, the North right now, does not want to see that. The North getting in victory formation, going to be able to drain the clock, and that's going to be it. But, Brandon, as we're coming down here, what a great football game. Again, I've said it a couple different times, but I think it's worth mentioning again. Congratulations to both coaching staffs. They put together 2 really good football teams here. 2 teams that came together and made this game entertaining, and that's ultimately their goal, is they want to come out here and make this game entertaining so people continue to want to come here, people continue to want to spend money, and that money, again, will go to the Shriners and have an opportunity to get that money where it belongs, those Shriner kids that desperately need it. So congratulations to these coaches, these teams. They did a great job. And how about that production crew you got going here, Brandon? These guys are amazing. This is the first time I've been a part of a production like this. This has got to rival what goes on in the big time, doesn't it?
Never going to argue with you as South team is victorious, 17-10, your final score. They are the champs of the 66th Annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. And Kurt, to reference the production team that you so rightly brought up, Danny and Connor in the truck alongside Paul, and then our camera crew, Luke, Lance, Kevin, and Mason, all making this broadcast possible. Of course, myself, Kirk, and Michael Shively, excellent reporting on the sidelines. He was covering everything all week long for what this organization and this game means and what it does with all the storylines, and this officially wraps up the 66 Shrine Bowl, and man, it was a fun one, and the first of hopefully many together, Kirk.
Hey, it was a blast. Have me back anytime. If we're going to watch football like this in June, I'll come back anytime, and I just couldn't be happier to come out and contribute in a little bit of the way I did today. But I'll tell you what, I've been very impressed with your crew. They did a tremendous job covering this game this week. I enjoyed seeing the tweets. Michael Shively did a great job covering the action out here during the course of the week. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed today getting here and being a part of it as well. So thank you for including me in this. It's just a great honor to be involved in this game in any way, shape, or form.
We'll take a break. We'll hear from our offensive and defensive players. Winning head coach will have top plays, all of it coming up shortly here on NCN.
Hey there, sports fans. Looking for a winning play to make your game day complete? Look no further than Speedy Mart, your family-owned neighborhood convenience store. Score big with the wide range of snacks, drinks, and fuel for the road that will keep the whole crew cheering. And here's the kicker. Our friendly atmosphere and convenient location make every visit a slam dunk. So rally the family and head to Speedy Mart for the ultimate game day experience.
Community means something different to everyone. But for me, it means cheering on those around you during the good times and helping them out during the tough times. I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I've been blessed with the support of my friends, family, coaches, and community throughout my life. When looking for a bank to call home, it was easy to choose Midwest Bank. I never feel like just another customer, and they're proud to support their communities. They love what they do, and it shows. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank.
It's the thrill, the hope, the long shots, and the turnovers. The big hits, the kills, the dunks, the strikes, the surprises, the joy, and the heartbreak. And that's why NCN Sports bring you more than 200 live games every year. News Channel Nebraska. This is home.
There's a new tomorrow on the other side of the horizon. There are houses to make into homes, businesses to be built, and friendships to enjoy.
Someday's gonna be one day soon.
Build your tomorrow with a bank you can rely on. Pinnacle Bank, the way banking should be.
Kearney, Nebraska is the getaway you never knew you needed. With comfortable, premium lodging, eclectic shopping, and a variety of locally owned craft food and drink options, Kearney has something for everyone. By day, you'll find rich history, outdoor adventure, and some of America's most unique attractions. And by night, our many entertainment options, dazzling performances, and unique hangouts offer the perfect way to unwind. Visit Kearney. It's so much more than just in the middle.
The 2024 Nebraska Shrine Bowl's hometown athletes are proudly supported by Sitta Deli in McCook, Nebraska Orthopedic Physical Therapy in Lincoln, and the Blind Pig in Springfield.
People want to define Gen Z, but that's our job.
I wait tables, but last week I built a field hospital. I put out a forest fire. I stopped 1,000 attackers.
And a natural disaster.
I've saved lives and led a team on patrol.
I serve.
Well, I go to school full-time.
While I work full-time.
The greater the challenge, the stronger we become.
So this yellow jacket, it basically symbolizes that it's showtime.
The Yellow Jackets are a throwback to Monday Night Football.
The 1970s, Keith Jackson, Howard Cosell.
That was the big broadcast in the country. Now we're the big broadcast in Nebraska.
When News Channel Nebraska is covering a game, we want you to know that we take it seriously. We want to dress sharp. We have pride in what we do.
And we're going to wear those yellow jackets to show people. And we're a little old school, but we're also the important broadcast of the night.
Does your business need quick, competitive financing for heavy machinery, trucks, or other equipment? Currency is here to help. Whether you're financing construction equipment, farm equipment, trucks, trailers, or any other big-ticket item, Currency will automatically find the best rates. Currency facilitates loans for up to $500,000 with repayment terms up to 72 months. It's fast, easy, and free to use. Visit GoCurrency.com and apply today.
Head coach Ryan Gattulo, Lincoln Southeast. Today he's the head man for the South team, the victorious South team. It's a crash course. You have 1 week. You get to know these guys. But this was a special group. What did it mean to get a win with these players?
Like you said, this is a special group. Very high character kids, really on both teams. That was a heck of a high school football game. We knew that both teams were going to come out and compete really hard. Just pleased that our guys were able to come out and make some plays there at the end. Defense got a big stop, got a turnover. Offense, we got plays when we needed them. And so really it was a great team effort. And like I said, we never lost never lost sight of what this was all about this week and the meaning of this game, really both teams. And so it was just a great experience for all of us.
Start the fourth quarter. You go into the bag of tricks. Take me through that touchdown.
Well, we wanted to have the wind. We thought we had a chance at it because we had run some sweep pretty well, and so we wanted to get the wind, and we had the wind there to start the fourth quarter, and kids executed it perfectly. So great job by them, not me, them.
Well, you told us before the game this game will be won in the trenches, and that's what happened. You got a critical fourth down stop. Tell me about both of the lines on offense and defense and how they got your team the win.
Yeah, well, I mean, they were controlling the clock on us there in the fourth quarter, and so it was big for our defense to be able to come up with that stop on fourth down. We knew that we had to do a good job up front because they were a very physical football team, and just a huge stop for our defense there.
What are you going to remember from this week in this game?
Just the relationships with the coaches, working with guys you hadn't worked with before. Also the kids, we had some guys that were pretty fierce competitors for 4 years, whether it was on the football field or basketball court, and then, within 4 days they're best of friends. And so just to see those relationships develop, that's an awesome thing for a coach to see.
Congrats on the win, Coach.
Thank you.
That's Ryan Gattulo of the South team. We'll bring in our offensive player of the game, the MVP on offense, Isaiah Weber, 2 touchdowns. Yep. We'll go one in a row here, in order here. Take me through that first touchdown, helping get your team the lead.
Well, that first touchdown, we were in our Maryland position, and we had 3 yards to go. So when we have that box stacked like that and just a ton of linemen, it's going to be hard to stop that. So got a lot of momentum going downhill, and just kind of get in there, pound my way in there.
Well, I'd say your second touchdown's the highlight of the game. I know you guys were fired up. Fourth quarter starts, and you don't waste any time. Take me through the trick play, TD.
Yeah, it's something we actually practiced quite a few times this week, not knowing if we're going to use it or not. But we're like, hey, we're start the fourth quarter. Let's try it out. So the reverse 38, we've been running that all game. So we ran that, pitched it back to him, and then their corners and their outside linebackers kind of bit a little bit. And I was wide open. I was just praying I'd catch the ball. Honestly, when he threw it, I lost it in the sun. I was like, uh-oh, where's it at? And then found it and caught it. So, yeah, it was an exciting moment for sure.
And you got 6 out of it. Yep. This is a special group, this South team. You didn't know each other really coming into this week. And it's an all-star game. It's not necessarily about winning, but this team wanted to win. What was your mood like, your attitude as a team throughout this week?
Well, I was like, as soon as we got here, all of us obviously maybe some of us had played together or played against each other, but we had no idea who each other were. So we got here, we started doing introductions right away, and just the bond we formed with this team over the week it felt like I was playing with my brothers that I played with for the last 4 years. So it was a really close team. We all had a lot of fun over the week, and I think that showed up today. You know, we had a close bond. We could rely on each other. So it was a lot of fun. It was a really good game.
Well, you got the win as a team, and you're the offensive MVP. Congratulations, Isaiah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. What an experience.
He's a Gretna High School grad, and now he's a South Team winner and offensive MVP for the Shrine Bowl. Guys?
Thank you, Michael. Appreciate the time from Coach Gatula sharing his thoughts, and also congratulations to Isaiah Weber, our Buffalo County Fair Player of the Game. Meet me at the Fair, Buffalo County Fair, which is on July 24th when it starts, and it runs through July 28th. With that, let's jump into our top plays, which are brought to you by the Nebraska Army National Guard. Discover your path at nationalguard.com/NE. 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl in Kearney. The clowns are ready. The players are ready. We're all ready for some all-star football on a beautiful Saturday afternoon in Kearney, Nebraska. North team gets the ball first. And there's some good passing by the South, specifically the catch on this occasion made by Trevor Spady. He was the leading receiver for the South team. 5 receptions for 64 yards. How about some great defense, though? That play made by Brecken Erickson of North Platte St. Pat's. One of 2 sacks that young man would have throughout the game. Now, Lincoln Southeast, Owen Baxter rolling out. Finds Spady. South's on the board, but no, it doesn't count. Foul on the play, so a great catch negated. We're still scoreless. Now into the second quarter. Kearney High, Xander Ruling with the show-stopping catch. Brings it in, 30-yard reception. It would set up the first score of the game. Isaiah Weber, 2-yard punch-in, representing the Gretna Dragons and the South team. South's up 7-zip with 22 seconds to play before halftime. But the North, they drive down the field and end up getting a field goal. Norfolk High's Sam Zazueta, 44 yards through the uprights. It's 7-3 going into halftime. We're now in the third quarter, and the South has a great drive that stalls and ends with a Patrick Gross field goal, a 20-yarder. How about this? An Isaac Doty pass to Quentin Archer. No, excuse me, that was a pass to Chase Weeger at 52 yards. It would set up this run by Prestito. Peyton Prestito punches it in from 6 yards out, and so it's now 10-10. We're all tied up. Start of the fourth quarter, and here's the first play of it. Flea flicker, reverse pass, 60 yards, ends up in the hands of Weber. He takes it all the way to the house. The young man's second touchdown. That makes it 17-10 South, and we think the South have it sealed. The North, though, would have an opportunity. They get the ball back after making a defensive stand. They're driving down the field, and the defense slams the door shut. Interception by Hastings St. Cecilia's Dawson Kissinger. That's all she wrote. A great game goes down to the final moments, but it's victory formation for the South. Your final score, 17-10. South the victors in the 66th annual Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Well, Kurt, before we wrap things up, we just recapped everything on those top plays. You have the stats in front of you. What's your overall reflection of what we just saw?
Well, again, a great football game today. To have this quality of football game with this short amount of prep is really, truly remarkable. I've watched a lot of Shrine Bowls over the years, and as far as just a clean football game, a hard-nosed football game, very competitive football game. This is one of the better Shrine Bowls that I've seen over the years. So the ability of the South team to really run the football I think was a big story. I think the other story on the flip side was North to be able to hang around and be in this game. And they put a great drive together to tie this game to 10-10, had a lot of momentum going, and then Coach Catula dials up the trick play to end the game. They were actually not end the game, but the scoring for the game. So great call on his part, and that's a great time to call that coming out of the quarter, make sure everybody's on the same page. And so just a great job by him installing that and having it executed at high of a fashion like it was today.
Well, that will...
Yeah, Brand, I just want to say thanks to you for having me again. And I'd be remiss if I didn't miss my wife, Kelly, for letting me come out and continue on this obsession of football I have. And my daughter's putting up with it, McKenna, Molly, and Haley. Just appreciate them allowing me to, give so much time to this game of football I love. And obviously the Shrine Bowl and the organization that we have. And obviously just appreciate you letting me be a part of this today.
An absolute pleasure. And just to let people kind of understand the obsession, besides being, a great coach, and for the multiple decades you've done it, came to practice from Columbus to prep for this broadcast. That is worth pointing out, that you took it seriously, and you did an absolutely amazing job, and it was fun. We'll plan on doing this again.
Awesome. Hey, to get a chance to, be around football this much in June, May, I'll take it any time I can get. Thank you.
17-10, your final here from Kearney. 66th Annual Shrine Bowl is in the books. We'll be back here next year for the 67th. Same time, same place. Again, a shout-out to our amazing production crew led by Danny and Connor in the truck alongside Paul, and all of our amazing camera operators. For Michael Shively, again for Kurt, I'm Brandon Axement. Signing off here from Kearney. We'll see you next time here on News Channel Nebraska.